one that
that they
Reddit gave me, and I can't change it.
Hmm?
So,
Why not?
because it won't let you.
Oh, oh, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Because we love Twitch so much.
It is running. Yeah, I've just had a look, and it's running fine. It is.
I can see it. Yep. Yeah. Well, eventually it's climbing, so Twitch is the place to be. And as people find us on Twitch and realise that the stream quality is a lot better, the just like everything is so much better. Being able to use emotes and stuff like that in the chat and just be like really sort of interactive. When people find us on Twitch, they'll love us there.
Hands up, all those people in this stream, right, that didn't have their main microphone on. So it's just me. It's just me then. Is it? It's just me being a dickhead. Yeah. I've just realised I didn't have my microphone on. Of course, you can still hear me, but people out in Reddit land couldn't, which is why they've all dropped off like a stone. So
I did shoot a message to Andrew saying that we were about to go live, but he's prepping. I don't know if he's lurking anywhere now. He's preparing to go to where's he going? To Cornwall tomorrow to his parents. So like he's doing packing and mentally preparing for the drive and stuff. So he probably will pop in at some point.
okay, well, good evening. I'll start again now. Well, Roches are climbing up to 118 now. We're down to a low of 68. Good evening, Reddit. I'm sorry that I was talking to you without my microphone on. I'm now with my microphone on. Good evening. How nice it is to be here. This is one of our final streams on Reddit. We've got another one coming up on Friday. Then one more of Monday next week, and that's it. We're leaving Reddit. We're going over to Twitch, which the URL is up there. So if you want to see us after next Monday, you'll have to go to Twitch. So I would advise you to capture this URL and follow us on Twitch to know when we've gone live. I'm going to post the URL in a minute. Tracy, let's go to Tracy. Tracy, what have you been up to this week?
What have I been doing? Yesterday was my usual ordering from Tesco in a mad panic at the last minute. But it was slightly more interesting this time because my sister's visiting tomorrow. So her and three of her children. So I was getting all kind of like snacky stuff and things and thinking, right.
No wonder Andrew's leaving if you've got 3 kids coming around.
Yeah, timed it well that. But no, so one of them's a teenager, so it's literally sort of grunts and oh, mom, you're so unique. And then there's a 10, almost 11-year-old, so she's lovely. You know, she hasn't quite hit the moody teens yet. And then there's a 2-year-old. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, so I was, ordering all bits and pieces for, for food, like things that aren't too much bother, but will also at work as a kind of like lunch and whatever thing. So that was good. What else did I do yesterday? I can't remember. Oh, I was doing some clips. I was clipping up and things, but also I was going through my own photos and things because I've been neglecting those bits and pieces while like literally hyper focusing on doing the streams and things because I love it so much. So I was doing that and just like chilling, but then I woke up today with a headache. I've had a headache all day, and I think it's like a nerve from my tooth. So not
Sounds similar to me. I went fishing and woke up with a haddock.
Oh.
Carry on.
Sorry, there's no place for that on this stream. Could you leave it out, please?
Yeah, I'll pike my lip then.
Oh, God. So that's been my sort of couple of days, and we had such a great stream on Saturday night on Twitch. I mean, anybody who wasn't there, you missed out. It was a great stream Saturday night, 4.5 hours, I think it was. Yep. It was a laugh, lots of chat and that. And Mickey, who's not normally on Saturday night, joined us. So he made his fans very happy. And so because of all the talking and the laughing and everything, I woke up the next day feeling like I'd been to a party. I had a proper, when you've like talked so much and everything, you wake up the next day and you've got like a talking hangover. Oh, but it was good fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I just saw that Steve has posted on Reddit the link to the Twitch, so to our Twitch. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I did last night, and I just remembered I caught Mad Mark's stream. He was streaming live on the way back from the pub or the party or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I caught a bit of that, and I popped in and I said, "Hello, it's one of the Woody crew." So that was that amused me for sort of 15 minutes.
Okay. He was live, was he?
He was live in the streets.
Okay.
He was on the bus, and then he was sort of on his way back, and kept propping his phone up so that he could go for a slash somewhere. And I was getting stressed out. I was saying, "Oh my God, he's doing this like in the middle of Lewisham, like leaving his phone, look wherever it was, leaving his phone propped up somewhere." And Minxie, his partner, was saying, "No, it's all right. He does this all the time." And I was just like, "Someone's gonna nick it."
Yeah. Okay. Let's Mickey, what have you been up to this week?
Well, believe it or not, Sunday I actually went to a fete. One of the old style fetes with your hook and duck and your tombola. Actually, only spent a couple of hours there, but yeah, that was all right. I think Donna won some soap.
Okay.
On the tombola. Some soap, yeah. Bit of cake and a cup of tea. Then we went for a stroll up the seafront, as it was a nice day. Sat and had some chips, a bit of gravy, how you do.
Oh, sounds great. Sounds fun.
It was, yeah, it was quite pleasant. Then popped round to see my son and my granddaughter for an hour, see how they were getting on. But yeah,
which just goes to show that Lowestoft is such a hive of excitement, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? My life is so full of joy and excitement.
It sounds great. It was
that exciting that today I spent a couple of hours in the garden doing some weeding. I mean, you can't get better than that.
No, you definitely can't. It sounds like you've got it all sorted. You've got it all sorted.
Knackered now.
Yeah.
Me back hurt.
I would imagine you would be. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted because I'm promoting the stream on social media, but it's not really. Going out too well. YouTube hasn't fired up, so there's something wrong with YouTube that hasn't posted. So let me just share that YouTube stream on Twitch while we're here. I'm sharing on Facebook. Right, carry on. I will tell you that I made a discovery. Okay, I've worked out why this generation are so angry.
And that would be why?
Because their music is absolute shit.
Well, yeah, we know that.
Yeah. That's why they're so angry. Don't you agree, Tracy?
Oh yeah. No, just it's rare that I hear a piece of music now that I like. There are some bits, but again, like we've discussed before, will it be even remembered in a year's time?
No.
You know, compared to like the Beatles, Elvis Presley, you know, stuff like that. And like I said, so it's rare that I hear anything that I like. And both of my daughters, I've noticed, are going the same way now. When I went to my eldest's on Thursday, and you know, she got her little baby and everything, and she was trying to get him to sleep, and she had an 1980s compilation going on in the background, and I was like, this is great, you know, because she was born at the tail end of the 80s, so she didn't really get any of the 80s influence. She had 90s, you know, like Spice Girls and things. And I was like, you're playing my music. And she said, oh, yeah, the baby loves it. But, of course, they were enjoying it as well. And so, and I've noticed that my youngest daughter, she plays a lot from the 90s and the early 2000s, obviously, like her teenage type years. But none of the... So obviously, she's growing up now, like... growing up as in like her musical tastes are not what's in the charts, but it's rubbish. It's just I can't hear anything that I particularly like. Like I said, I occasionally catch the odd sort of thing and I think, oh, that's a nice line or a hook or whatever, but the rest of the song's rubbish anyway. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, well, that's the conclusion that I've made, that music's rubbish. I myself, I went out yesterday. I went out. I went out. I don't know if you saw on Facebook that I actually went out to Battle Abbey, where the Battle of Hastings happened, a defining moment in British history, where King Harold was killed by Duke William of Normandy, and thus ended Anglo-Saxon England. We became Norman England, and it set us on the path to being the world's greatest empire. So it was actually very much a world-changing event in 1066. And I thought that it was a very profound moment. It's one of two profound moments because having stood, there's a plaque that actually mark where King Harold fell and died. And I just realised after I walked away, well, I didn't walk away, I was in a wheelchair. After I came away from it, I just realised that it's the second time that I've actually been somewhere that's got a very defining moment in it. Because I stood at the point where King Harold had died, and back in 2014, I actually sailed. I was on a cruise liner coming back from the Canaries. I actually sailed. The captain of the ship made a point of telling everybody. We actually sailed over the exact point that the Battle of Trafalgar happened, where Nelson beat Admiral Villeneuve and the Franco-French fleet off of Cadiz, off of Cape Trafalgar, in 1805, which not only cemented the British Empire as the greatest empire that's ever happened, but for the next 100 years ensured that Britain was the mightiest sea power in the world. So nobody could challenge us until the Americans in about the 1920s. So that's a very profound moment that reminded me of another profound moment. So that's what I was up to yesterday. Just thought I'd mention that. Over to you guys. I'm still promoting us and getting it wrong.
I was actually ask about that because you said that you were going to go to Sheffield Park, and I wondered how comes you ended up going to Battle.
Right, I'll actually tell you. we actually drove down to Sheffield Park, and as I was on the road to Sheffield Park, about 5 miles outside of Sheffield Park, it rain started to hit the windscreen. So I looked at my other half and I said, "Well, we can take a chance and go around Sheffield Park and Gardens. I mean, when it's raining, or if you like, at the end of this road is Lewis. We go and look at Lewis." She said, "Well, I've never been to Lewis before. Um, can we go?" Yeah, I said, "Yeah." So I drove down and drove through Lewis, and then I said, "Right, when I get out of Lewis, I'm going to turn left and I'm going to head through Eastbourne, along the 259 to Hastings, and then I'm going to turn back to London. We haven't been out for the day. We haven't been out anywhere, but at least it's a nice drive." And it started to rain by then. And as we came out of Eastbourne, she said to me, "You're not fancy much." She said, "Battle, is that somewhere near Hastings?" I said, "Yeah, it's about 5 miles away." She said, "I've never been there." And I said, "Well, funny enough, nor have I." And I said, "I'll tell you what I'll do. When we get to Hastings, instead of taking the A21 straight up to London, I'll go into Battle." So we drove into Battle. And as I got into the centre of the village, the Battle Abbey, which is where King Harold's marker is, the Battle Abbey was actually erected by William the Conqueror 5 years later, to atone for the bloodshed at the Battle of Hastings. I noticed it was an English heritage property. Of course, I'm an English heritage member. Free car parking, free entry. So we pulled into the car park, and I got my water out, and we went in and we went round Battle Abbey, and that's how that happened. So it's not a place that we'd even thought about going. It was just quite accidental. But as soon as I noticed it was English heritage, I thought, right, let's have a visit, and we did. So that's how we ended up there. Seeing as you asked.
No, that's no. I just wondered because I remember you saying about Sheffield Park, and the funny thing is that considering the amount of times that I've been to Hastings and the time that I've spent in Hastings, I've never actually been into Battle Abbey. We got as far as the car park once, and we pulled up in there, and I can't remember why we didn't go in. It may well have been it was an extremely hot day or something. There was a reason why we didn't go as far as actually going in. But so it's something that it's on things that I want to do. I definitely want to go there. Like I said, because I've spent so much time in and around Hastings that it's just one of those things that just seems bizarre that I've not done yet. So yeah, it looked lovely. I mean, the pictures and everything. So
yeah, it was an unexpectedly nice nice time. Reddit. We've gone from 0 viewers, or 4 viewers when we started, to 293 to 168 to 69. 14 a minute ago, and now we're back up to 23, and none of you have said anything. What is it, Reddit? Are you all mute? Have you all just lost the ability to type or say hello? Or say anything, even if it's fuck off, you're just wasting screen time. It would be nice. So, let's hear it from you, Reddit, because this is part of the reason we're leaving Reddit, because we're not getting the interaction that we would like, which we are getting on Twitch. So let's hear it, Reddit. Let's hear from any of you. Say something, even if it's piss off.
get off my screen.
Yeah, get off my screen. Yeah. Why are you on my phone? What's going on here? Let's otherwise you wonder. Actually, that's not the reason we're leaving Reddit. The reason we're leaving Reddit is because of what Reddit has done to streamers. As you've probably guessed, that loads of other streamers have left Reddit, and we're just joining them because it's just absolutely ridiculous the way that Reddit have treated streamers. Absolutely ridiculous. Somebody was talking to me today. We're talking to him on Saturday. Match.
Yeah.
He said that he can't stand Reddit now because one of the things that they used to do is they used to tell people when a streamer was online, and now you don't. And that's part of the reason why we're leaving. So this is the almost the last stream before
Yeah,
before we
tonight,
go. Next Monday is our
Friday,
last
and
stream.
Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, next
Tonight
Monday is our last stream.
Yeah, you've got tonight, you've got Friday, and then you've got Monday, and then that's your lot.
That's your lot. Yep. That's goodbye from us.
So if you want to see more of us, if you do want to see more of us, you're going to have to head on over to Twitch. Steve has put the link in the hello, Juster33.
Oh, well, there is life in Reddit after all. Hello. Yes, hello, Juster33. Good evening. Good evening. How nice to see you.
Yeah, so just to finish what I was saying, so yeah, pick up the link that Steve has put in the Reddit chat, and go on head over there, follow us, subscribe to us, bookmark us, whatever, so you can find us again and be able to come and chat. It'll be exactly the same times as we're doing at the moment, but we're playing with what days are good at the moment. So, but the schedule's on there. So just the 33 on Reddit says, I've been watching a lot of Time Team, and I think they visited stroke Doug at Battle of Hastings. Yeah, I think they did. I think that it definitely would have been one of the places that they would have been interested in digging at, because obviously because of the history and the historical implications. And I know you said you think they visited. Do you remember anything about the dig? Did they find bones? Did they find weaponry? One of those things that I should imagine that there'd be something indoors. Did you go indoors, Steve, when you went there? Did you go like was there any exhibition inside or anything?
Sorry, you caught me out then. When you said let me finish, I'm so used to when a woman says let me finish, I'm so used to clearing my diary for the next year and a half. You caught me out there. Sorry, Tracy. You caught me completely out. Yeah. Yes, there's an exhibition inside. The original abbey, as I said, William the Conqueror built an abbey in 1094 to atone for all the bloodshed, but that abbey's gone now. That was demolished in the 13th century. The modern abbey, which is there, is built very near the site, and there's an indoor exhibition. Yes, there's indoors exhibitions. There's a shop. There's always a shop with the English heritage.
Oh, there's always a shop.
There's always a shop. And when I come back from taking my other half to work, I'll show you my purchases. Yes, there's an indoor exhibition.
But my specific question about that was, did you see anything about any archaeological finds?
No. Like I was saying, there's an indoor exhibition, but it's on the top floor, and I can't get up there because there's no lift access. So I don't know. So there could well be an exhibition there. The reason I can't get up there because I'm a wheelchair user, so wheelchairs can't get upstairs. So the parts of the abbey that are still left have been converted for English heritage use, and upstairs is an exhibition about it all. So no, I didn't see any of that. All I did is I managed to get to the exact spot. There's a stone. If you looked at my photographs, there's a stone that commemorates exactly where Harold was killed. I managed to get to that part, and that was it. And as you walk round, there's little plaques everywhere or posts everywhere that tell you exactly what happened and how the battle went, and it was absolutely fascinating. But no, nothing about archaeological digs, Tracy. I'm sorry. You may continue now. I have spoken.
That was where I was going with that. But as you were talking, it reminded me that the Bayeux Tapestry was on display in Hastings. I can't remember when, but I didn't manage to get. I think it was a few years ago, because I remember at the time it was when my dad was ill and I'd just lost my mum or something, and so I didn't actually manage to get down to Hastings to see it. It was like on loan from wherever they keep it in France, I think. I would have loved to see it. All right, thank you.
I despair at education state, don't you, Mickey? The state of education.
I really do.
I despair at it.
Oh, my parents sent me to a shit school. I'm sorry about that.
There's a reason.
Diabolical parents you've got.
Oh dear.
There's a reason it's called the Bayeux Tapestry.
Yeah, no, but it could have been called the Bayeux Tapestry because it was made in Bayeux. It doesn't necessarily.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's where they're keeping it.
So, well, in this case, it is.
Yeah. So, right. So they loaned it to Hastings for, I think it was 6 months or a year or something, and I didn't manage to get to see it when it was there, which was disappointing because, life was in the way and things. But never mind. I mean, I'll see it not 1066, 2066.
Oh dear.
Which reminds me, can I just completely sidetrack us for a minute?
Oh, please do.
Right, okay. I was on the Facebook groups. Did you join any of the Facebook groups that I said?
I haven't managed to. What about you, Mickey?
Well, no. I mean, I did say that particular group I spoke about earlier didn't want me. I don't know why.
No, they're just unbelievable, right? Well, I was talking to a guy today in a chat in the group, and he said to me, he said, I always warn people. He said at the start of the stream, I always warn people that I've got an eclectic sense of humour, so they might be offended. And I thought about it, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to put a warning up. And when we do it when we go from the 1st of September, I'm going to do a screen. It's got to put a warning up about our stream. But I'm not going to put a warning up about our sense of humour. I'm going to put a warning up that I'm 62 and Mickey's 66. And it's highly likely one or both of us will die before the end of the stream.
Oh, dear.
Like on air.
Yeah.
Will we make it through?
Like Tommy Cooper.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, we'll suddenly be talking and we'll just, so, you know.
Disappear under the desk.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Apparently, when you die, you break wind.
Yeah, so I hear.
Yeah, well, of course you hear, yeah.
It's different then, are we, Steve? Because you're always doing that. Actually,
Yeah.
He must be dead already.
Yeah.
It certainly smells like it. We've had the discussion about the skunk.
Steve, I know what it'll be. We'll know that you're dead if you break wind and then don't complain about the smell.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's what I think. That's what I think I have to do. I have to put a warning up saying that either me or Mickey, you both of us may not live till the end of the stream.
Oh dear.
And that's what you get for being old. It's like that, though, isn't it, Mickey?
Well, it is, yeah. Yeah. I'm just glad to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, that's it. I do. I wake up every morning and think, oh, managed it.
And then for about 5 minutes, I think, oh fuck, what am I going to do today?
I don't sign up for 24-month credit agreements.
No.
No.
Oh dear, oh dear.
No, not me anymore.
No.
Yeah, but then you'd be able to get out of it. Sorry, he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing that I bought won't be any good to me, will it? I'll be dead. Oh.
Yeah, but you'll have all the use of it.
Yeah, I'll be died use of it, yeah.
You'll have been using it for however long and only paid like a tenner or something. Oh, keep me up, are we? It's all that fresh air yesterday.
Hey?
It's all that fresh air yesterday.
No, it's my illness. I've got cancer, and that's my illness. I mean, I slept for 10 hours and 5 minutes today, and I've had a nap this afternoon for an hour and 45 minutes, and I'm feeling tired again. So that's how it goes. I have good weeks and I have bad weeks. But I did remember to put my teeth in today, which is unusual for me.
Oh my god!
Seriously, that's not my teeth, my false teeth. Look, that is one of the things about getting old that people don't realise that. Yeah, we lose our teeth. Have you got falsies, Mickey?
Have I what?
Have you got falsies?
False teeth?
Yeah.
No, I've got piano teeth, mate. One white, one black.
All right, okay, piano teeth. Yeah.
And gaps. No, I have got them, but I don't wear them.
Okay.
They hurt me mouth. So.
Well, you were saying the other week, Steve, about that you used to have really good teeth, and then the cancer struck, and then, or like the treatment and everything, and then you had to have the teeth pulled out and things. What bugs me is because I always used to have nightmares that my teeth were falling out. I always used to have really good teeth, and I've still got really good teeth. Unfortunately, they just won't stay in my head. Can you see what that is?
You just pulled a tooth out live on stream.
No, I haven't. I pulled it out of. Oh God, you can't see it because it's. Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
What? I've got no fillings, no broken teeth, no caps, no crowns, no falsies. It's just I've got bad gums, and apparently it's hereditary.
So you're no good for a BJ then?
No, I'm better for it.
No. If you can take your teeth out, it's better. Yeah, you hadn't thought of that. You hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but I haven't got to that stage yet.
Oh, right, okay.
I'll
go and see Mickey then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
like threesomes, you know. I really do.
you like
Because
threesomes?
disappointing one woman at a time is for amateurs, you know.
You like to disappoint too, yeah.
Disappointing one woman at a time.
I find with a threesome, right, it's actually a bit of a nightmare fighting over who sleeps on the wet spot.
Well,
Yeah.
the easy thing is just don't go to sleep.
Yeah, Tracy, look, you've caused this conversation to descend to the gutter.
What? Because I said that my teeth are falling out.
Yes, exactly. No, me and Mickey would never do anything like that. It's only when you're on stream that this happens. Me and Mickey never do anything like that.
Never do anything or say anything like that. I know.
No.
I know.
Mm.
Yeah, you two are totally innocent, and you've been led astray by the naughty Jezebel.
If you could be bothered to actually watch when me and Steve do our own streams, if you had to be bothered to watch, you'd see that we were polite and very nice gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It must be.
But when you come on, it seems to lower the
It
tone
does.
about
It
5
does.
notches.
It does.
I tell you what, I've had a terrible a dirty sense of humour since I discovered what a dirty sense of humour was, and what can I say? I love it. It's just so funny. It's one of the funniest things. Sex is just hilarious. It's hilarious, and it's like, oh no, I'm not going to lower the tone to farting again.
It's not hilarious. You try farting during sex. It's never appreciated.
No.
Never appreciated. Do you know we're down to 14 on Reddit, and nobody on Reddit is saying anything. Hello, Reddit. Hello. Are you all broken your fingers? Honestly, there's 15 people out there on Reddit now, right? That have all got broken fingers. They've all broken the fingers on their hands.
They're gawking at the old people talking about sex and going la la la.
No. You were talking about sex. Let's get it right. You were talking about sex. Me and Mickey were quite innocent.
I was not. You lot brought up blowjobs without teeth.
See, there she goes again, Mickey. Look.
And threesomes. I said nothing about threesomes.
And again, dirty sense of humour, blowjobs and threesomes in the last 30 seconds, and she denies talking about sex.
No, I'm not even going to repeat what Mickey said. I will be accused of saying it.
Saying what?
What, fanny farts?
Yeah.
Fanny farts after sex are hilarious.
Now you started Mickey off. Look. Mickey off.
So what?
You started Mickey off now.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I know. My camera's reversed. Don't worry about it.
No, you were pointing in the right direction. It's just like it was exactly in the right place. So.
All right, yeah. Oh, you see, you're being rude again, aren't you? You're being rude again.
I love being stared at by Reddit while we talk about sex. It's kind of
She's done it again, Mickey. Right, she's managed to say let's talk about sex.
Slow as the tone.
Like a science teacher. You know, like when you're at school and the science teacher tries teaching you about sex education, and the whole class is just like.
We never had that when I was at school.
No.
Back in the 70s, we never had it.
No.
We used to have practicals behind the bike sheds.
Exactly. My sex education was practical.
For yourself.
Yeah.
We didn't have none of this sit in the classroom. This is slipping a condom over a banana. None of that stuff, mate. It was around the bike sheds.
Did what, Mickey?
I said nothing of this in the classroom like they do.
Did you just say slipping a condom over a banana?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's what they do in the classroom.
That makes me ask: was it peeled?
I don't know.
It wasn't circumcised then.
Perhaps just the top end was. I don't know. But we never had any of that, so I wouldn't know. But we had our sex education.
Mickey, you've got a fan. You've got a fan.
One of your fans has entered the room.
You got a fan.
Hey, happy Smiley. How are we? Nice to see you this evening.
I mean, I want to know how you put a condom.
You can say hello to the other two as well, you know. Or is it just me you've come to see?
I want to know how you put a condom on a peeled banana.
Do tell us.
Sorry?
I was saying, Mickey, what's it like having a fan? Do tell us.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, tell us, Mickey. Tell us all about it. You've got a fan. Tell us all about it.
What does it feel like?
Yeah, what does it feel like?
Steve's got about 3 fans round his feet.
Well, yeah.
Tell us about them.
Oh, all right, okay. Well, you've got an admirer, Mickey, so come on, tell us all about it.
Well, it's something novel to me, to be fair. Normally people tell me to shut up and piss off. So
I tell you what, Steve, with your merchandise, you definitely have to do some that say diabolical for his fans, because
I will.
diabolical and absolutely diabolical for those days when you need an absolutely at the beginning of it.
do. So come on, Happy, what have you been up to? Come on.
Just to warn you guys, I've got to go out in 10 minutes. As you know, take my wife.
Well,
Right,
case,
just to let Mickey know, right? When I say I've got to go, that means I've got to go. That's not hang on a minute.
Right, you better turn me off for 5 minutes then.
Okay.
While I go and have a little.
Norman Tebbit in a mankini.
Oh yes, that's exciting.
Anne Widdicombe having her feet massaged.
Oh, even better, eh? Especially licking between the toes.
Right, there you go. Mickey's off. Mickey's gone.
Get rid of him. Oh, I'm gonna have nightmares about that tonight. I wish I'd not said anything.
Mickey will be back in a minute. Mickey's gone off to go and have a cigarette. I don't particularly enjoy Mickey smoking on the stream. I don't think it's the impression we want to give. Do you, Tracy?
No, it's no.
That's all you can say, isn't it? Really, that's my stand against smoking. I don't object to people smoking. I never have. I just don't think it's done on the stream. Besides, I know that on YouTube, for instance, a lot of advertisers won't advertise on streams where people smoke.
Yeah.
Because it's they've made smoking in 20 years. They've completely turned smoking around from being something that was socially acceptable to being something that if you do it, you're the devil incarnate. Have you noticed?
Yeah. Well, it used to be like a cool thing to do, and also when I was a teenager, smoking was a rebellious thing to do.
Oh.
It was something that the naughty kids did, and you could get like your single cigarettes from the shop and from behind the school and that. So it was another sort of part of rebellion. But the problem is it's so addictive, and it shouldn't really be glamorized now. It's Mickey's choice to smoke, but that doesn't. It's kind of like you wouldn't want to stand in a lift with someone smoking. It's a similar concept with switching him off while he's having a smoke.
Well,
he can enjoy it.
I've got to say, that wouldn't bother me. Somebody stood, in fact, people have stood next to me and smoked. That doesn't really bother me. It's never bothered me since I stopped smoking. I don't know why. It just doesn't bother me.
No, but like other people who it would bother, that they wouldn't want to be in a lift with a smoker. Yeah. Likewise, they wouldn't want to see a smoker online. So if you can switch him off when he's doing it.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be in a lift with somebody taking a shit.
No, that's true.
That would be antisocial.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in a lift with somebody masturbating. Unless it was Julia Roberts. Then I could possibly make an exception.
A lot of women do have to put up with disgusting behaviour like that, like actually having it forced upon them, and it's incredible. A lot of women do. They're what's the word? It's sexual abuse type thing, but without actually being touched. Getting into a lift with someone who then starts masturbating.
Seriously?
Honestly, things like this happen. Hello, Harry on YouTube.
Yes, good evening, Harry. Harry and the old cocker.
For example, it didn't actually happen that far to me in a lift. I got in my lift once, and there was a delivery driver, and me and him were the only ones in he was a delivery person. Me and him were the only ones in the lift, and he stood so close to me that he was rubbing his arm against my breast. So I thought, okay, take 2 steps back. and I took 2 steps back, and he took 2 steps forward.
Oh.
So he was deliberately rubbing up against me, and then he got out before me, and I was just like, I've just been molested in the fucking lift. But even though there's CCTV in the lift, you wouldn't have been because he didn't actually put his hand out, you wouldn't have been able to see anything happening. Had I realised slightly quicker, well, mind you, I was going to say, had I realised slightly quicker, I could have given him a kick or a punch in the face, but then I don't know what he's going to do to me. So I'd rather just get it over with and then get out. And women, we have to deal with this kind of shit. So I'm saying that women being in the lift where a man exposes himself and starts doing that is nothing new.
Okay.
I brought the tone down to a much more serious level.
Yeah, no, it's. I must admit, I've never. Well, obviously, this is something outside of my sphere of influence, my circle of influence, because it's something that I've obviously never done and I've never considered doing. I wouldn't dream of doing something like that. I've always believed that I don't go where I'm not invited. Happy Smile Seeker, are you just here for Mickey, or are you going to talk to the rest of us, just out of curiosity? And just a 33, have you vanished? I mean, if any of you have got any input on the subject we're talking about now, which apparently is sexual harassment, so we could talk about it. We'll certainly explore it.
I had that. I sent you that screen grab today. On Twitter, I sent Steve and Mickey the screen grab. I said, Mickey wants to be switched back on.
Okay.
I said, I did the screen grab, and I said, this is what it's like being a woman in 2022. And the screen grab was a conversation that I'd had in my Twitter DMs. And the person had a female picture. Obviously, that doesn't mean anything. It could be a bloke, but I normally don't respond to anybody who says hi or how are you, because they literally, there is no point. But this one, I thought, it's a female picture. Let's give them the benefit of doubt. And it transpired that it was clearly a bloke, because the next, I said, how can I help you? And they said, send me a picture. So I ignored it, and they came back a bit later saying, what are you doing? And I said, I'm waiting to be paid for the picture you just ordered. And and I said, well, what about all the pictures that are on my profile? And then they said reply, because they obviously were waiting for me to. They just put one word, reply. So I said, fuck off. It's the reply, isn't it? And then I banned them. But that's not an isolated incident. I get this all the time. That I get conversation where somebody who I don't know wants a photo of me. They don't say explicitly, but that they want anything naked, but they want a photo of me. I've got photos of me and videos of me because of this stream up on Twitter. Well, what's wrong with those? I'm not. I have in the past when they've said send me a photo. I've just picked a random photo off of Google Images, and it's not of a person. It'll just be like of maybe sort of Loch Ness or something. One of my favourite things to do is when they send me a dick pic, and I've got a story about that for later, about dick pics for later. When they send me a dick pic, I send them back a picture or a GIF, a moving GIF of a woman cutting a sausage up.
A woman what?
Cutting a sausage up.
You're not going to share that picture I sent you. Because that would be chipolata chopping, not bloody sausages.
Yeah, it's a strange phenomenon, because my other half occasionally gets dick pics sent to her. I've never had a dick pic sent to me. Harry Fields, have you ever had a dick pic sent to you, or have you ever sent dick pics? What about you, Mickey? Have you sent or received them?
Neither. No, I haven't sent or received them. I'm a bit disappointed.
You're not missing anything. Honestly, you're not missing anything.
Bit disappointed I hadn't had boobs flashed all over my bloody DMs, but there you go.
But this is exactly it. See, the one time that you'll get women flashing boobs and things at you, it will usually be a man behind the scenes trying to get you to pay for whatever service they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And people have said, why do blokes? It's actually cyber flashing. If somebody did it to you in the street, I mean, it's just as disturbing. But if somebody was in the street, it would be a public offence.
Yeah.
And
So it should be online.
this is what I was going to say was in Texas, it's actually illegal to send dick pics, and you could be fined $500. Now,
Okay.
if you know,
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
leave you two for now for about 40 minutes. So I'll see you in about 40 minutes. So it's all down to you two for now, all right?
No, that's fine. We've got a topic of conversation going.
And if the viewership goes up while I'm gone, I shall be very disappointed.
It normally does.
Yeah, thank you, Mickey. Bye.
That's quite well. Quite welcome.
So, yeah. So it would be lovely to think that I mean, this is not how it works. Because obviously, the $500 goes to the court system or whatever. It's a fine, goes to the government. But wouldn't it be lovely for that $500 to actually go to the recipient of the dick pic as a kind of compensation? Yeah. And if that was the case, and it was, you know, global, God, think of how much money I would have, and it would so make up for some of the gross specimens that I've had landing in my inbox. I mean, honestly, they're not ones that you would go, yeah, actually, that's a fine specimen. No, they're usually disgusting. And these guys are so proud of them. And it's just like, really? You know, I've seen more meat on a chicken drumstick, for God's sake. Oh. So, have we got anybody who wants to chat in Reddit or YouTube? We don't mind what subject. You don't have to join in on this subject, but if you want to join in on the subject of sexual harassment of women, then you can. That's fine. But yeah, so that was one thing that I'd picked up on today. I mean, bloody hell, I'd probably be a millionaire if the money came, you know, if it was global and the money came straight to the woman. But and some people say, you know, what's the mentality behind it? And you know, because so many guys do it. It's not isolated incidents, and they get, you know, they get their boner and they think that the woman wants to see it, because in the same way, what they would love is that if a woman who was sexually excited sent pics of their bits to them, they'd love it. But women don't do that because it's not a thing that women do. And we can see just how bloody stupid it is. So anyway, so we are quiet. Have you got a crib sheet?
I can't understand for the life of me why anybody would want to do that. Send a picture of their chopper to somebody they don't know. Perhaps I'm older, but I just can't understand why somebody want to do that. It's just
a lot.
I think, is it the shock factor it's supposed to be? You know,
no, it is a chat up line for them. Do you want some of this, love? Or the American equivalent?
Well, I'm sure when I met my wife, I didn't flop my cock out in the face and say, "Hello, my name's Mickey."
In the post.
Huh?
Did you say in the post?
No, I said I didn't flop my cock out when I met the missus and said, "Hello, my name's Mickey."
No,
huh?
I just had.
You don't do that, do you?
No, I just had a vision of it being
Right, at least let her buy me a drink first.
I had a vision of it being pre-internet days, and you had to take a photo of it and then post it to her. I didn't flop my cock out in the post. And she opens this letter. It's like, oh, it's lovely, love letter, and this picture falls out of the member.
A Polaroid snap.
Oh my God. But yeah, a lot of them treat it as a chat up line, like, you know. And it's just, well, that just tells me that you are, not you, Mickey, obviously, but you who send dick pics, you are a completely unacceptable bed partner at the very least. I'm not going to shag you because you're a flipping weirdo. You know, I want to see the rest of the package that comes with it. I mean, I don't want to. That's not what I want in my inbox either. But you know, like if I'm going to have any kind of sexual relationship with someone, I want to see the full package. Literally the last thing I want to see is what's in the underpants. Literally the last thing. I don't want it to be the first. I want it to be the last thing. You know, something to look forward to. Ugh. But yeah, I don't understand the mentality really. But you know, it really is a kind of opening line, as in, all right, love, fancy some of this. I actually had one about a week ago, and it was naked ladies' parts, and I can't be too graphic, but basically it was post sex ladies' parts.
Oh.
Exactly, and the guy said, "Do you want to be next?" Literally, no hello or anything. It was just this picture. Do you want to be next? And I'm like, no, you've completely put me off my breakfast. Just it wouldn't have been so bad had there been chat leading up to it, you know, sexy chat leading up to it. But I didn't know who he was, and it was literally that. And do you want to be next? No hi, no hello, no how are you? Just do you want to be next?
No foreplay, no. Just straight in there, bang. Oh dear.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I just wonder if he ever gets lucky, but. Maybe he does get lucky, but with the other guys who are actually sending the boob pics. We are very quiet tonight, Reddit. We normally have lots more chatters. We've got 22 watchers. And what have we got? We've got 3 people watching on YouTube.
Yeah, it's probably us 3. Why does it keep doing that? It's all right. I'm messing about with my screens here, and it's just...
Yeah, and I think Andrew must be asleep or resting or something, because he's not. He might be watching. If you're watching, hello, Andrew. He probably didn't like the topic of conversation. Because he's a gentleman, and he doesn't like the idea of any women receiving. Because it's quite an aggressive not manly. It's not manly. It's like an aggressive sort of testosterone fueled thing to be sending bits and pieces like this. And it's. Yeah. I was going to say manly, but that's not the right word. Men don't do that. Proper men don't do that, and he doesn't. It makes him feel like really uncomfortable that there are wankers out there.
People out there like that, yeah.
So, have you got a list for today?
When do I ever make lists? That's
Have you?
But there was one thing that caught my eye today. Argos.
Oh yeah.
People have been moaning about Argos for the fact that on the posters in store, they've been taken down now, but on the posters in store, they say large objects are a 2-man delivery.
Right.
Now, people are moaning it should be 2-person delivery.
Oh, God!
So they've now changed it to 2-person delivery on their website. But I'd like to see, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for equality, but if you have a fridge freezer delivered, it's got to be lugged up 4 sets of stairs.
Yeah.
Can you see a woman doing that?
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they're not capable. What I'm saying is, and people on this thread that I saw, people who work for Argos said it's very rarely that you get a woman that will apply for these jobs.
Yeah.
Because of the... But I just thought it very strange that somebody would moan about a 2-man delivery.
Yeah. I
mean, we know when... Well, I know when it says 2-man delivery, it's not saying that they're discounted women. All they're saying is basically it's 2-person, which is what they've changed it to now, 2-person. But it just annoyed me. That was all. Just annoyed me a bit.
Yeah. I can see what they're saying though. That it should have been picked up before it went to print and stuff like that.
Well, yeah.
Because.
But what gets me is people get, and it does say on this, offended.
Yeah.
By the fact that they put 2 men. instead of saying, I see that you've got, you know, your sign say 2 men, would it not be better to have 2 person? They email and say, I'm offended that you've got this poster saying 2 men.
Oh, look, we've got even description and 369 on Reddit saying, shut the fuck up. That's it.
Thank you.
We've got interaction. This is what Steve's been asking for, and he's not even here to see somebody telling us to shut the fuck up. Woo! How are you doing, even description? Are you enjoying?
It's absolutely fantastic.
I know. You've joined the party.
Well, come on then. You want us to shut the fuck up? You tell us what you want us to talk about. Come on.
Unless, of course...
Sit there hidden behind your screen telling us... see, yeah.
Welcome, though. Hello. Welcome. I actually thought what you might be saying, even description, you might have been saying that the people complaining about Argos needs to shut the fuck up. So that would work.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But but yeah. But like I say, it's not the fact that it was 2 men that pissed me off. It's about the way they went about trying to solve it.
Yeah.
The first thing they come, I'm offended that you've got this poster saying, rather than saying, I see that your poster says 2-man delivery, could you not change it to 2 person? The first thing they come out with is, I'm offended.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't be offended by seeing something that says 2-man, but you know, and it would be nice if language was changed.
Yes,
because
I totally agree.
Well, you know, because you said about you know, women don't usually apply for jobs like that, but maybe they're not applying for jobs like that because it seems like a masculine job.
Yes.
When really it's not. You know, it should be universal. If you think you can do the job, whatever gender or sex you are,
any job,
then apply for it. You know, but it does. I remember when I used to work for Home Base, which anybody who doesn't know, that's DIY chain store.
Yeah.
I
used to belong to Sainsbury's. I don't know if it still does.
It used to belong to Sainsbury's, and then they broke away. Home Base was sold to another thingy.
Yeah.
I remember it used to belong to Sainsbury's because when we opened, because I worked there from just before it opened, so I was doing all the when we first walked into the store, it was literally empty. It was just like a big hangar, and we had to fill it. So we spent about 4 weeks, like the shelves would come in one night, so we were filling and fit. I loved that. Brilliant. Anyway, it just appealed to my OCD to get everything in. So when we worked there, when I worked there, literally every single person who worked in the warehouse and the builders bit, which is where you could do wood cutting and stuff like this, every single person was a man, because women weren't applying for them. Women just weren't applying for them. You know, so it was the men that got to use the forklift trucks. It was the men who got to use the, I can't remember what it's called now, but there's like a thing that you push, you do that.
Well, the pump up trucks.
Yeah, exactly. It was the men who was trained on stuff like that, not the women. Where was I? I think that was so that was my point. It was women weren't applying because it was seen more as a masculine job, whereas women were shop floor and checkout. But now it's changed, you know.
I was going to say, the job that I've just retired from, we had women forklift drivers, we had women what we call electric barrow drivers. I mean,
hello Andrew, thank you. Yes. He says pump truck.
That's it.
I think we're about 20 seconds behind on YouTube.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, I remember along the same lines. I remember when I think I might have told you this story before. I worked at Woolworths, and the manager there was always shouting at me for not wearing tights, and I'd be you know, because the uniform policy was men had to wear shirt, trousers, socks, and women had to wear blouse, skirt, tights. And I'd be like, no, I'm not wearing tights. That's a sexist policy. And he'd go, yes, but it's a Woolworths policy. I said, take me to court then, because it's a sexist policy. And I said to him, I mean, he laughed his bloody head off because he was like a man's man, you know, like, and he used to swear at me, but he knew he had no fight. If you see, I had a point. I'd say the policy should be universal, that anybody can wear blouse or shirt, anybody can wear shirt or trousers, and anybody can wear socks. Or because I wore socks, I used to wear socks. I said, and anybody who could wear socks or tights, and he was like, "Fuck off! What bloke would want to wear a skirt and tights?" And I said, "There are some." Because I remember at the time there was an actually I would have called him at the time actually a transvestite, but he may well have been transgender. I can't remember. I mean, I don't know his circumstances, but it was a man, and he used to clearly a man, and he used to wear a skirt. But you know,
plenty of them up in Scotland.
Yeah. Exactly, and if the policy, if the uniform policy is universal, that you can wear blouse or shirt, trousers or and everything, then everybody can wear whatever they want. I wanted to wear trousers, but I wasn't allowed, and I didn't push it that far. I got away with the tight socks instead of tights. But then I made my point. That was in 1999, and so it's not that long ago that we were still being separated and segregated by our clothes. So yeah. So back to what you were saying. I think it's just the language around it just needs to be changed a bit. So if it says 2-person delivery, and if they're talking about delivery persons and things like this, then women might actually apply for these jobs.
Give it a go.
Yeah. I know that in the last sort of couple of years, it's particularly since the pandemic hit, I've been getting more and more women Tesco delivery drivers, and you know, I mean, a couple of them, I just wondered how they managed to get all this shopping, you know, because they're heavy things, but if they can do the job, if they're strong enough, they're quick enough, and they can drive safely, then why not? So
exactly, why not? Yeah.
Are you still there, even description, or have you gone off to tell?
You've gone off to tell somebody else to fuck off, I think.
Oh dear. That's so funny.
Shut the fuck up, I don't know.
Steve's been saying that for weeks to say, and the first time we get it, and he's not even in the room.
He'll be disappointed he's missed out on it.
Yeah. So
I bet your hubby's not looking forward to that drive to.
No. It gives him a bit of anxiety.
Bloody awful drive, especially from down where you are.
Yeah, it's it'd take him about 5 hours. And
on a good day.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, he's hired a vehicle anyway, so the drive is better than going by train, because he'd have to be picked up at the other end, and at least hiring a vehicle gives him a bit of freedom to.
See, now, I saw. I don't know how I came across it, but I was on YouTube and I actually saw a guy who did the overnighter to Cornwall.
Oh,
I think it costs about 124 quid, but that includes your breakfast.
Was it you?
That leaves about 10 o'clock at night and gets in about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But if I was to ever go London to, I think I'd give that a go myself, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good, but I love travelling.
It's expensive.
I love the travelling bit. I love the sitting there watching the sights go by and seeing how the landscape changes and things. Even if I've not actually been on like an 8 or 10 hour train journey, but if I did, I would want to be awake and most of it. I think I'd like to sleep for the first bit, you know, as you're getting out of London and it's all still relatively flat and nothing really to look at. But as it gets further and further out.
If you take the night train, Trace, you're not going to see a lot in the dark.
That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. I would have to go in the day. I'd have to literally have the day, because half of my enjoyment of going somewhere is the travelling. And I love it. I absolutely love navigating for Andrew. I'm better than the sat nav. When I was in the guides, I got my map reading badge, and I've always I'm not very good at sort of like doing the the OS maps, the ordnance.
Yeah.
With all the lines and the gradients. I'm not that
contours. Not gradients, they're contours.
Contours. No, but gradients, as in if it's a mountain, it's got the
the circles get closer together and wider apart. They're contours on a map.
Oh, okay. See? I didn't know that.
You're talking to a military man.
Yeah, of course. But that I.
And you can't do your latitudes and longitudes.
Yeah, no. I never was taught that, but I know, what they are. I think I can't remember which way is what. But I've always had quite a good sense of direction, even when the sun's in, so it's not like I'm navigating by the sun. I can usually feel whether I'm going north, south, east, or west.
Yeah.
And I can read a map and that get my bearings and things and be able to say, right, you need to do the next left, right, and I'm usually better than the sat nav lady, so I guess I call her a bitch. That's a shut.
Yeah, but the thing is, he can turn the sat nav lady off. He can't turn you off, Tracy.
Oh, I love it though. But usually we force her to, like if there's a bit of traffic and I look at the map and I'm like, okay, if you do this and then this and then everything, and then as soon as you go off of what sat nav lady wants, she's going. Go 300 yards or meters or whatever,
and turn round,
do a U-turn and that, and I'm going.
Yeah. I do that. I
was watching one of Jason's videos from a few months ago, and I really liked the way that he was referring to the sat nav lady as it's honourable directions lady or something. It was just the way he was saying it was just so charming. And I thought, I like that. How many do we have on Reddit? Let's have a little looky poo. 14. There's 14 of you.
14 of them, but not one of them wants to speak to us.
No, I just think that they like lurking and ogling.
I think they're voyeurs.
They're naughty.
They're disappointed you haven't got your cleavage out, Trace,
I've
tonight.
got a bit of it out.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Look, is that what you want?
Well, not me particularly.
No. I'm directly asking Reddit. I can do that on here. Twitch, if you're, I don't know. You can be a bit suggestive on Twitch, but you can't Mark tells you off. As soon as I go anywhere near the fun bags, he's like, no, toss, TOS. Oh dear. Are you getting yourself prepared for Steve's return? I can hear you crinkling away there.
You're absolutely right. I am. I am doing so.
So I did that. So I'm just marking off what I've written down. I will save the cracking story for when it comes back because
I look forward to it.
It involves some disability, and I'll tell the whole story obviously when Steve gets back. I was mindlessly scrolling Twitter tonight about 7 o'clock because I was sort of tying my hair back and stuff like this and just passing time. And then I spotted this thing. Somebody had linked to this story. And I was just like literally, oh my God. So, and the more I looked into it, the more I was like, oh my God. So, I'll be able to...
Yeah, save it for later then.
Huh?
Save it for later. We can all go.
God. One thing that I saw, it was a program last night. I didn't see the program, and I can't remember what the program was called. It was on Channel 4, and it was basically the premise was like literally they set the premise up with the question: can you furnish your home entirely from second-hand furniture, second-hand stuff? And I just was like, we are scraping the barrel now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because I remember moving into my first place, or when I first moved in here, everything was secondhand, apart from the paint on the walls.
Well, the only thing we didn't have secondhand when we moved in our first house was a bed, because I refused to sleep in a secondhand bed.
Yeah.
You know, mattress and that. So, but that is literally the only thing that we had new.
Yeah.
Everything else was secondhand, so it's very easy. I mean, that was back in the 80s.
Yeah, mine was when I moved here.
It was stuff from charity shops.
Yeah.
It was stuff from. They had a place called. Bearing in mind, I weren't working at the time. They had a place called Help and Assist, which you could go and pick out. You know, they collected furniture from people who didn't want it, a bit like charity, and you could go around and say, "Well, I need so and so and so and so."
No, really? Wait a minute. Can you type in Reddit and see if he's joking? Surely
he is joking, unless Woody is fucking.
Can you type in Reddit and into Reddit, Mickey, and say, "Are you joking?" Because we can't do anything. If he switched us all off, do you know what? I was wondering who that was again. I can hear you absolutely fine, Mickey.
Yeah, and I can hear you.
We're having
but then again, we're going through Skype.
And Andrew can hear us on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake, really?
So I don't know what Steve has done then.
It's just Reddit.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute.
Andrew can hear us on YouTube.
Oh dear. I'm gonna message Andrew, see.
So we've been waffling on for about half an hour and nobody can hear us.
Yeah, they still might be
winding us
up. So I just asked Andy to check both for us because it may be a wind up. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Can you
hear us on YouTube?
Can you check Reddit for us? Let me see if I can. Right, I'll send him the link.
I'm getting no sound feedback from. I've just turned the volume up on Reddit, and I'm getting nothing coming through on the sound on Reddit.
Oh fuck! He might just have to do a new stream, I guess. So. Oh, we could just sit here. Well, we're getting 14 viewers with.
We've got 21 watchers
20,
at the minute.
21 watchers.
Without hearing us. Okay.
Can you type in into, because I'm not logged in on Reddit. I don't have a login. Can you type on Reddit just saying Steve will fix it in about 5 minutes when he's back, or however you want to put that. And while you're doing that, I'm going to the loo because if they can't hear us. Oh, and Andrew's coming back to me now. Oh yeah, Andy, we're being told that Reddit is just not. We haven't got any output onto Reddit, and it's obviously going to YouTube. And Steve will be back in about 5 minutes or so to be able to fix whatever's happened. We don't know what's happened. We've been rabbiting away. And no sound on Reddit, Andrew says.
Okay.
Yeah, Mickey wasn't getting any feedback from that either. So how many have we got on YouTube at the moment? 3. That's me, you and Andrew. Right, I'm going for a wee. Hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mickey, to leave you alone, but...
No, that's fine. I mean, I can't talk to anybody because nobody can hear us. Oh dear. What can the matter be?
So who did we have?
Who did we have? What?
Yeah, no, it's all right. I'm just wondering who we had on Reddit. We were all right until Steve left, and then someone came in and said, "Shut the fuck up." But we don't even know if they could hear us, even though we were talking to them. So, because saying sorry said to you mistakenly, that may well have just been them saying sorry about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we'll just have a little sit and a relax. Just got to remember they can still see us. So, I'll just do this. They won't care about the sound.
No.
Or maybe I'll just try and twerk. I know I can't twerk, but maybe I'll just try and twerk. So. I'm not on the wine tonight because, like Steve said, we'll all be bloody alcoholics if that was the case. So.
I'll be honest, I don't drink much now, unless I go out. I don't drink at home. If I go out, I'll have a
I can hear Steve.
Yeah, hopefully. I can hear thumping and banging and
wheezing.
Yeah.
Are you there, Steve? He'll be putting his earpiece in a minute. Are you there, Steve?
Yep, give me a second.
Oh, we've got no sound on Reddit.
I know, you have now.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So we've been waffling on for 40 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
And nobody's been able to hear us.
Okay, so you could have typed.
Nobody told us until literally
Nobody told us
minutes
about
ago.
5 minutes ago. If you
I told you this about Reddit, didn't I? They do this a lot. If there's a problem, they never let you know.
We had someone come in about 20 minutes ago and say, "Shut the fuck up," which you missed because remember you were always calling out and saying, "Tell us to shut the fuck up." But we didn't even know if they could hear us, and then all of a sudden.
See, it was peaceful.
Leela, it was peaceful.
That's short for bruv, by the way, Mickey.
Yeah.
Bruh, yeah.
Yep.
Leela says, "Bruh, it was peaceful," and Gay Jock says, "Unbelievable." I know, completely unbelievable.
I realised when I was about half a mile down the road that I thought, oh shit. What I've done is basically right to cut a long story short. All of the audio through my earpiece is routed to Reddit, right? Because I can't route the audio from YouTube to Reddit because of complicated problems. So I've got an audio different. But while I was out, I put my earpiece on charge, and of course when it goes on charge, it cuts off.
Excellent. Oh dear.
All right. Okay.
Peaceful.
So all our fantastic conversation.
I know.
Is out the window.
No, it wasn't. It could be heard on YouTube.
Yeah, but the only person there is Andrew.
Gay Jock says he's still mumbling about something. I know. I know. You can't shut us up.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Gay Jocks. If you want him to mumble about something else, then just give us a subject. Ask a question.
Yeah, let us know. Ask us anything. Meanwhile, guess what?
What?
Cold peas are not.
No.
I knew it.
Oh. Beer de jour.
Beer de jour, yeah. Because the Abbey at Battle is right next to a brewery, so of course I had to, didn't I? I bought some wassail. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah.
A wassail. You went a wassail in.
Yeah. He's got this one's got a story. The Old Norse phrase "wassail, good health" was first used as a simple greeting. This was then adopted by the Danish-speaking inhabitants of England, who turned wassail and the replied drink ale into a drinking salutation, wishing health to those around them. The tradition of wassailing varied over the centuries, evolving to be practiced on New Year's Eve and Twelfth Night, with people going from house to house with the wassail bowl, wishing good health to neighbours. The house wassailing tradition is still practiced today as what we know now as Christmas caroling. So there you go.
Steve, I think you're still switched off because Leela can't hear you.
Who can't hear me?
Leela.
Can't hear the third guy. No, she can't. No, she can't. Right, she can't. No. She can now.
Thank
Sorry.
you, guys.
She can
Thank
now.
you
She
for
can
joining
now.
us.
She can now.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So,
On that
do you want me to
note,
repeat that?
I'll go for a smoke.
All right, hang on. Let me turn you off, and I'll repeat what I just said.
Say, Gay Jocks on Reddit says, "What the fuck is beer?" Or WTF is beer du jour? It means beer of the day. It's the beer that Steve is drinking tonight. And there's usually a story behind it, but you couldn't hear it because he's forgot to switch his mic on.
I like my beers, and I drink lots of different beers. And they're all specialist beers. And this is a full-bodied ale with hoppy overnotes. Wassail is brewed from a delicious blend of the finest malts and hops, a strong chestnut ruby premium ale with an oaky aroma containing sherry and mature fruit. That actually sounds lovely. Best poured in one careful movement, leaving the sediment in the bottle. And the story of the beer is the Old Norse phrase "wassail," good health, was first used. I'm going to read this fast because we've already had this. Was first used as simple greeting. This was then adopted by the Danish-speaking inhabitants of England, who termed wassail and replied "drink ale" in a drinking salutation, wishing health to those around them. The tradition of wassailing varied over the centuries, evolving to be practiced on New Year's Eve and Twelfth Night, with people going from house to house to the wassail bowl, wishing good health to neighbours. The wassailing tradition is now practiced today as what we now call recognised Christmas caroling. There you go. Right, see, I've said it again. So,
lovely.
Lovely. Lovely. Right, well, let's open it up.
I see Gay Jocks on Reddit is a Mickey fan because if Mick's going for a smoke, I'm going to. So
Mick's got all the fans, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Mick has a lot of fans, Grandma? And they've all got gay in their title.
What's up, Grandma? On Reddit says, "Oh, he's drinking a good beer and having a giggle with the mates. That's a good time in it, bruv." I think they're trying to do like a South London accent or a sort of
in it, bruv. Yeah, in it.
An urban South
An
London.
urban street is what you're looking for, Tracy. Street is the word you're looking for.
I can't do urban street at all.
So,
he's drinking a good beer.
As you know, I went to Battle Abbey and I bought the beer from Battle Abbey. But that's not all I bought from Battle Abbey.
Oh, what did you buy?
I bought a tankard.
Oh my God!
Don't call me that out of bed.
You're gonna drink your beer out of that tonight?
I'm gonna drink my beer out of this tankard. Yes. Look, I'm gonna pour it and I'm gonna drink it.
What are the do you know what the shields are on it?
Yes, they represent yes, I do. And if you bear with me for a second while I'm just pouring this beer, I will tell you about them.
Leela3 on Reddit says, "You guys live in London. I live in London. Steve lives in London, but the guy who should be there but isn't yet, he's from no, not Somerset, the other one, Suffolk, which is east
Lowestoft.
Which is East England."
Right. In 1065, the King of England in 1046, the King of England was Edward the Confessor. Whose father was Ethelred the Unready. Who was crowned, and Edward the Confessor was King of England. And he died in January 1066. Well, when he died, there wasn't actually a clear succession to the throne. Harold Godwinson, who we know as King Harold, was his brother-in-law, I believe, but also Harold's brother, Tostig Godwinson, also had a claim to the throne, as did King Harald, spelt the Danish way, Harald, of Denmark, as well as William, Duke of Normandy. These all had claims on the English throne after the death of Edward the Confessor. So these shields are Edward. I don't know which one's which. I'll have to look it up. You've got Edward the Confessor's shield, William, Duke of Normandy, Harold of Denmark, Harold Godwinson, which is King Harold, and Tostig Godwinson.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, I'll continue with the history lesson, right? Since I've started it. The Battle of Hastings, which is fought at Battle Abbey, which is where I was on Sunday. We lost that, and it changed the course of world history. But it was a set of weird circumstances that came about to us actually losing that battle. In theory, we should have won it. Like I said, Edward the Confessor died, and the people who elected kings in those days elected Harold Godwinson, as we know as King Harold, as the King of England. But he had to deal with claims from his brother, King Harold of Denmark, and William Duke of Normandy, with his brother Tostig, and King Harold of Denmark, of no, the Viking King Harold. Sorry, yes, of Denmark. Yeah, Denmark. They got together in Orkney, and they decided to attack Harold and try and seize the throne from him. They did this in August 1066. Have you got a condom on that banana, Mickey?
I've just peeled it back.
Okay. I bet you say that. I bet you say that to all the boys.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, Tostig and Harold got together and they invaded England, very near to the Holy Island, Tracy.
Oh.
And they started marching towards London. Well, Harold had heard about this, and King Harold had heard about this and started marching towards York. Meanwhile, Harold and Tostig actually captured York. And while they were coming away from York, across the River Derwent, it's called Stamford Bridge, not the Chelsea football ground, but it's called Stamford Bridge, although architecturally there's never been any rain to the bridge. King Harold's English army actually caught King Harold the Dane's army napping, and they annihilated them. So King Harold won the Battle of Stamford Bridge, which is probably the battle that turned the tide of the Danish and the Viking invasions of the UK, because we were never really invaded after that, because King Harold literally annihilated them. And one of the things that he said was, he actually before the battle, he actually approached Harold and Tostig, and King Harold of Denmark said, "How much of Britain are you going to give me if we don't fight?" And Harold actually said, "You can have 7 feet of it because you're taller than everybody else," meaning 7 feet of it as in his grave. And King Harold actually annihilated him. Then, this is in August, right? Or September, I forget now. And then he turned around with his army and he marched back towards London, but he left 1/3 of his army there to guard York just in case the Vikings came back. So 2/3 of his army marched towards London. On the march towards London, he heard that Duke William of Normandy had landed in the UK at Pevensey Bay, which is right next to Hastings, to try and seize the English throne. And he just fought this massive battle at Stamford Bridge. So he marched 2/3 of his army into London, rested up for a week, then marched out to go and meet King Harold or Duke William of Normandy. And they finally met, engaged, after about 10 days after the Battle of Stamford Bridge. They were marching at the rate of 23 miles a day to get there, which is a phenomenal rate of march. So by the time Harold's army has got there, they were pretty worn out anyway. So he got as far as battle. It wasn't called battle then. It was called something else. And the two armies met. Layla, I'll comment on London bus drivers in a minute. I'll just finish this story. We're nearly there. So they met, and Harold had the high ground at the top of the hill, and William had the low ground. And normally, when you've got the high ground, you win. So William attacked first, and Harold had a shield wall, something we've learned off of the Vikings, and the Normans couldn't penetrate the shield wall, so they retreated. When they retreated, some of the English broke free from the shield wall and chased the Normans. William spotted this, and William's a very good tactician. He spotted this, and so what he did is he launched 4 attacks at the English shield wall as feints. They weren't actually attacks, they were feints. And what he would do is he'd approach the shield wall and then suddenly turn and run. Well, people behind the shield wall, in their enthusiasm, would then chase him down the hill. The Norman cavalry would then come along and annihilate them. He did that 4 times, eventually weakening the shield wall and attacking with his cavalry and getting behind the shield wall and killing Harold, which ended the battle. So it was a series of coincidences. if the Normans, if the Vikings hadn't invaded 3 weeks previously, Harold would still be king because he would have had his full army at battle. If he hadn't have had to march his army, if he hadn't fought the Battle of Stamford Bridge, we'd still be an Anglo-Saxon nation. If he hadn't have left a third of his army up at York to guard it, we would have beaten Duke William. If he hadn't have marched his army 23 miles a day, which is unheard of, we would have beaten Duke William. And lastly, if the English had stuck to the tactics of staying behind the shield wall like they should have done, we'd have beaten Duke William. And it's just a whole set of coincidences. So there we go. That is the story of the Battle of Hastings. And I knew all this before I went up there yesterday, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know how fascinated you are by that.
No, I like a bit. I was going to say I like a bit of British history. I like a lot of British history. Leela 3 asked world's fastest talker, because obviously that was from when you were reading the you were reading what was on the label.
Oh right, yeah. Well, yeah. I broke the world record for the world's fastest talker in 90. I can't remember exactly when. It was either 19. You have to look in the Guinness Book of Records. It was either 1990 or 1991, and I really am the world's fastest talker. It's a world record I've held since then. But I don't do it that much now.
Anyway, Leela wants you to talk about London bus drivers, something I know absolutely jack shit about.
I know jack shit about London bus drivers. How about you, Tracy?
It depends on what is it? They say comment on London bus drivers. I think it's probably quite a demanding, monotonous job. Do you know what? At the end, if I was a bus driver at the end of the day, having heard the bell ringing so many times, I'd be going to sleep hearing that bell ringing. But I mean, what do you want to know, Leela? Just generally, it's it's quite a demanding job. They have to, not only do they have to drive, but they have to deal with the public as well, which was the big shame when we lost the conductors on buses, because at least the driver could just concentrate on driving, whereas now they have to deal with the general public as well. They had to concentrate on driving, and the conductor would be walking around on the bus and looking after the public, whereas now there are no conductors, and the drivers have to do the customer service at the same time. So generally I find them okay. You do get the odd rude one. You get the ones that see you coming up to the bus stop and they put their foot down and speed off, but generally they 95% of them are doing a good job. But if you want a specific comment, like if you've got a specific question, do ask.
I used to be a bus driver in the 1980s. I did that for a little while, but I got sick and fed up with school children.
I'm not surprised.
They just got on my tits, and I gave it up. So I've still got bus driver category on my licence. It was then called. It's now called PCV. It was then called PSV. No, it's now called PSV. It was then called PCV. But I've still got the category on my driving licence from when I was, which is in here somewhere. Oh, there we go. Look, there you go. I'm back on my driving licence.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Did you were you on a conductorless bus?
No, single operator bus.
Yeah, see,
single
that's what I mean.
Buses,
you wouldn't have had to have dealt with the children if you were just a driver and the conductor.
No, well, in the old route masters, the drivers was isolated from the were isolated from the
and then
passengers.
But even then, when we had the newer buses, when we had conductors, but the conductors just were phased out because don't need the conductor if the bus driver has got access to the public, and I'll just
absolutely.
Gay Jocks, what do you think about English Empire being the largest empire in terms of landmass in the history of the planet?
The what?
What do you think about the English Empire being the largest empire?
British.
Yeah, what they've put English being the largest empire in terms of land mass in the history of the planet.
It's something I'm actually proud of, to be honest. I've been very proud of the fact that we actually had the largest empire in the world. And it's probably the world's last empire as well. And it's something that we can say we did that, and that was actually the Battle of Hastings, which you're just talking about in 1066, actually set England or Britain on the path to becoming the world's greatest empire. We cemented that. Is Harold we're talking about land acquisition. That wasn't how land acquisition worked, by the way. What basically happened with the 1066 there? Um, after William became the king, he pretty much got rid of all the English nobles, either through natural wastage and dying, replacing them with Norman nobles, or just replacing them with Norman nobles, and then gradually gave their landouts to the people who supported him in war. That's how the acquisition of land happens. It doesn't happen directly through war. So that's that. But yeah, the Battle of Hastings actually transformed the United Kingdom or Britain, because prior to 1066 we were still Anglo-Saxon. We were very, very introspect. We had no ambitions outside of our own island, so we were very much an island nation. We had no world ambitions at all. Once the Normans came in, we very much had world ambitions, and it wasn't for before too long, I think about 15, I can't remember exactly, in the 1500s somewhere, that his great granddaughter Elizabeth I ascended to the throne. Well, of course, Elizabeth I was the exact opposite to previous Anglo-Saxon kings. She wanted to reach out to the rest of the world, and she did. And the rest of the world came and knocked on our door rather nastily, especially the Spanish, who hated us, who sent an armada to defeat us. And her main military man was Sir Francis Drake, who actually defeated the Spanish Armada. And that started us off as the British Empire. And from there, it just grew and grew. And then in 1805, just off of Cadiz in Spain, Admiral Lord Nelson destroyed the fleet of the French Admiral Villeneuve in the Battle of Trafalgar, which then cemented the empire and cemented Britain's place as the world's great sea power for the next 120 years, until the Americans eventually caught up and passed us. So that's what I think about the British Empire. And sorry?
I was going to say, and Mickey? Not what you think about Mickey. I was going to get Mickey's reaction.
Okay.
To what? To empire building? Yeah. It's what it was in its day, to be fair, but we're now starting to reap the consequences of it, aren't we? With people wanting reparations. Reparations for what? I don't know. I mean, I wasn't around. It wasn't me that went knocking on the door and say, I'm coming in.
I'll tell you what. I'm not going to apologise. There's this thing where people want people to apologise
for it, because
it happened before my time. Yeah,
exactly that. Yeah. So look.
And it was just one of the things of this world. And the Battle of Hastings was actually set England on the path to becoming the world's greatest empire. So, and it's, given how the world works nowadays, probably the last empire the world will ever know. So,
yes.
Somebody wants to know if we believe in UFOs.
Well, what sort of question is that?
Well, I mean,
what sort of question is that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, anything that you see in the sky that you can't identify as plane is a UFO.
Yep.
It doesn't mean to say it's come out from outer space.
Yep. And so in an actual fact, I believe in UFOs because
you guys didn't watch Reddit, did you? You're not watching Reddit, are you?
I am.
Oh, okay.
What? Well, that's what you said on Reddit. Do you believe in UFOs?
Yeah. Never mind.
Oh, look, there he is. Look.
Yeah.
Huh? That looks like a sombrero on your head, mate.
And right, where are we? UFO is is an unidentified flying object. It's
Yeah, but it could be anything.
it could be anything that's not been identified. Let's have a look at the questions. Brexit, yes or no? I voted for Brexit. Tracy,
Yes, I did.
Mickey,
And so did I.
there you go. The three of us voted for Brexit. Right, okay.
Do I regret it? No. Would I do it again?
Yeah, same for me. Same for me,
Fine.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Leela, yes, we do. This is the URL, and we're actually broadcasting on YouTube right now. We are on YouTube right now, and although that says woodies.tube, which is what's on my shirt, if you tap that into any browser, that will take you to our YouTube. We're live on YouTube as we speak. There, Layla. Right.
Can I take it back to just very quickly, because Joe Admin said that the next bit after the "Do you believe in UFO?" said or other extraterrestrial out there. So yeah, believe in UFO because it's unidentified flying objects, but actually believing other extraterrestrials out there. Yeah, there's got to be. There's got to be other beings out there. We cannot be
arrogant.
Yeah.
It would be arrogant of us to think that we are. When you think of the millions of stars up there, it would be arrogant of us to think that we'll be the only planet with any form of life. I'm not saying life like us.
No, exactly.
Not necessarily, but some form of life. It'd be arrogant of us to think that we were the only people amongst those million stars.
Probably billions of planets out there that are hosting life. I don't believe that any of them particularly want to come and find us to beat us up and take over the planet. Why would they want to?
Oh, come on, look, the aliens land here. Look, they get put in a hotel room, given bloody dole money.
Oh dear. And then, sorry, carrying on the extraterrestrial thing, What's Up Grandma says, I know you guys already know this, but I went on a big knowledge binge of the current royal family, and I learned that Lizzie is the longest living monarch of all time, and she's most likely an alien. Somebody's been watching David Icke.
Yeah, another nut job.
I don't. We're all aliens. I don't believe that Queen Elizabeth is a completely different type of alien. So, but also she invented a breed of dog, and I love her. So,
and then Gay Jocks, what do you guys think is the future of the world? Would it be multicultural? Well, I'm hoping it would be. Yeah, I mean, to me, it doesn't matter to me what colour you are, where you come from, what your background, what your religion. I mean, my views on religion are, well, I don't believe in any religion, but yeah, I would hope that we were multicultural. God, I ain't got my teeth in, but I can't even say the word tonight.
I'd like it to be multicultural. I think the problem that we have quite a bit in Britain and probably a lot of places in the world is that, and it's two-way. I'm not just talking about incomers. I'm talking about outgoers as well. Is that people stick to their own, but there's no sort of they don't sort of make the effort to integrate, or for some reason they're not integrating it. And I'm talking as well about people who go and live in Spain from Britain, or France, but they stay in their own little enclave of British people. Yeah. Really, if you're going to live in another country, really you need to sort of assimilate and hold on to your own cultures.
Hold on to your own culture and beliefs, but do try and integrate with the country, what I call the host country.
Yeah, learn the language, eat the food, wear the clothes. So.
Yeah.
I've got a slightly different view. Because who was it? Somebody said, "Can you all chip in?" Yeah, Gay Jock said, "Can we all chip in?" I've got a slightly different view. Back in 1991, when I first got on the internet, I expected this global village thing to really happen. And I expected the internet to bring people together. And I honestly expected it to stop wars and to advance science, because people could communicate in real times. Really communicate in real times. And I'm quite disappointed that that's never happened. Because if it had happened, we'd have integrated as a world completely. As a society, I was born a London Cockney. I was born in the East End of London. And that is, I've known nothing but multicultural society. In fact, where I was born in London has now become, it's changed completely. Where I was born in London was white British. It's now British Asian. It's got the biggest mosque in the country, almost on top of the place where I was born. So the place has completely changed in 60 years. And in those 60 years, I've grown up with that multiculturalism. I was at school with children from all different cultures. I've never known anything else but multiculturalism, so I don't give it any thought. People are people to me. We all bleed red. We're all the same inside. So that's how I see it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of others share the same view. Let's have a look at the thing. Are you apprehensive towards or welcoming aliens? Well, are you talking about aliens from outer space or illegal aliens? Illegal aliens, that's a different conversation we can have if you want to. Aliens from outer space, I'm quite welcoming. I don't subscribe from this we come in peace, shoot to kill Star Trek mentality. I honestly think if aliens are going to cross the vast expanse of space to come and say hello to us, they're not going to start killing us en masse. I don't think they're going to do that. So I think they'd be very welcoming. And I'm 62 now, and I've got more years behind me than I've got in front of me. And there is one thing I'd like to see in my lifetime. One thing I'd like to see in my lifetime is I would like to see us prove that there is life outside of this planet and contact beings from another planet. I would love to see that. I'm sure it will happen in my grandchildren's lifetime. I'm sure it will happen, but not in my lifetime. I don't think. I'd like to hope so. I think that's my only wish now, my last and final wish. So I'd be quite welcoming. But if we're talking about illegal aliens, that's a different subject. Mickey, your thoughts on aliens?
I think they're pretty similar to yours there, Steve, because I don't think that they come all this way just to destroy us. I think if they wouldn't be nothing like us, but there'll be inquisitive minds coming to see what sort of life forms are out there. It's the same as us at the minute, pushing probes out into the space, really, isn't it? To find, we're not going out there to find something to destroy it. We're just going out there to find if something else does exist out there. And I believe that they'll be doing exactly the same towards us. So, I'd be welcoming to them.
Can I just interrupt before Tracy does it?
Won't be a little man in a free bloody, like, War of the Worlds, come along, take me to your leader and start bloody blowing the shit out here. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Just to mention before Tracy, hang on.
Yeah, I agree. So you don't have to bother. I totally agree with you guys. So
I'm just going to say, illegal aliens are undocumented immigrants coming in across the channel. That's what illegal aliens are, as opposed to aliens from outer space. Go on, Tracy.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I've got nothing to add because I agree with the pair of you.
Okay.
We send out probes and stuff like that. The one thing that pisses me off about space, which is nothing to do with aliens, is the amount of junk we leave out there, and I think that is so presumptuous on our part that we're allowed to make a load of mess in space, and that's what pisses me off. But I don't think I'm exactly the same as you two. I don't think they'd be coming here to eat us or knock us out, and likewise that's not why we're looking for other worlds with beings on. So
okay, right, before we get on to any more questions, and I'll look at your questions in a second and we'll look at them before we get into any other questions, right? Next Monday will be our last ever stream on Reddit. Today we're streaming on Reddit. Friday we're streaming on Reddit. Next Monday will be our last ever stream on Reddit. We are moving totally over to Twitch from the beginning of next month. There's the URL up there. If you go onto Twitch and follow us, you'll be notified when we're online, which will be a lot more times than it is here. We're doing this because of the way Reddit have treated streamers, and a lot of the big streamers already left Reddit, and we're following, so we'll be leaving Reddit, so you won't be able to see us after Monday week. So if you want to follow us after that, go over to Twitch. We will be on Twitch Wednesday and Thursday, Saturday of this week, but we'll be going full time to Twitch on the 1st of September. Right, let's have a look at some of these questions. I've got to scroll back. Do you guys have tattoos? What's your view of somebody's name as a tattoo? I have tattoos. There we go. Look, I've got that one. I've got twisted towards my camera. I've got that one. I've got these ones.
Oh,
and I've got one other. Yeah, I've got one other which I won't show you because it's in a highly personal place. Mickey, you've got tattoos.
No.
Yes, you have, you liar.
I was just imagining them then the other day.
Yeah, what those? Oh, I can't bloody. Yes, I've got them. Just one or two.
And the legs.
On my legs, yeah, and my back, yeah. But as for names, the only names I've got is my wife, my children, and my grandchildren. I know people say, well, you shouldn't put a female's name on, but I've been with my wife 38 years, so I think, that was a good investment. So, yeah, all I've got, my wife's name. Oh, and sorry, and on this arm, I have one of my sister's names. At the age of 18, she died in a house fire along with one of my nephews. So I had that done specifically for her, and yes, I have got her name on that. So,
Tracy,
yes,
tattoos.
I haven't got any tattoos yet, and I've been promising myself one for about 30 years.
You little liar! You showed us that butterfly on your bum the other week.
It was a moth. It was trying to scare Steve.
Oh, sorry.
Let's not go there, right? Just quickly, Flamdwin, which I think might be a Welsh name, actually said that he came on to see how active Arpan was, and the first thing he hears is we're leaving. Arpan has killed streaming. Arpan made a decision 6 weeks ago that they weren't going to feature streaming on the front page anymore. And when all the streamers complained about that, they said we're doing it, we're taking it off so it can improve the service. Is there anything you'd like us to do? And almost every streamer with a single voice said, yes, fix notifications, because notifications have been broken for 8 months. When a streamer came online, you used to be notified, but they've been broken for 8 months. Arpan turned around and said, no, we don't think that's important, so we're not going to fix it. So literally, at that moment, streamers started leaving. It was a mass exodus of streamers. If Arpan think that streaming isn't important and think that notifications aren't important, then that's we don't want to be here. And so it has been a mass exodus of streamers. Arpan have literally just killed streaming. So we've all gone on to Twitch. All the big streamers, every big streamers, the ones that used to pull in 500,000 or more viewers have gone. Every single one of them. It's such a shame because there were some really talented people, the singers, the drum players, the guitarists, the keyboard players, they've all gone to Twitch. We are hanging on, but we are moving over to Twitch on the 1st of September because they value streamers and Arpan doesn't. So that explains why you don't see so much of it and why we're all leaving. So yes, let's go back to other questions now. Let's have a look at. I may be wrong. Humans or other species of Earth tourism are animalistic. If we encounter aliens or Earth space, our first instinct will be to destroy them if they were harmful. Well, that's something that is debatable because we may have already encountered them. How do diseases like AIDS and COVID and swine flu and the Black Plague and the bubonic plague, how do they actually just suddenly appear? This is a question that I've often asked myself. They say they jump from species, but where do they originate from? Where did bubonic plague come from? Could it have been brought here by microorganisms from other planets travelling on meteorites and asteroids? That is a question. Flam, goodbye. Come and join us on Twitch. Look, the URL's up there. Come and join us on Twitch. So, would we destroy them? That is a question. The question is, I think they've probably been here, and they've probably been here for a millennium, carried in on meteorites and asteroids. What do you think, Tracy?
I like that theory, because I mean that's a theory of how we got here. That we were carried in. Well, not we humans, but life on Earth was carried in by microscopic particles of water on comets and stuff like that. In that was microbes of life on Earth. So yeah. It's quite possible that that diseases are aliens or alien made or whatever. So, but not necessarily not sent out to hurt us. Just that there's alien life hurtling around on bits of natural space junk like asteroids and comets and things, and just we were in the way of the trajectory.
Mickey.
So, yeah.
I don't know, mate. I've never had a micro-orgasm, so I don't really know
Your
what
wife
to say
says you
about
had lots, actually.
So, no, yeah, but I think, being serious, I think...
She says she's forgotten what a proper orgasm's like.
Yeah, she's probably never had one in 38 years.
Well, she has, but you weren't there. I was.
But as for the question... yes, I think you're probably right. The only issue I have is that as the meteorites come to Earth, they tend to burn up. So how do these organisms, I'll get it right in a bit, how do they survive the heat unless they're actually inside the rock?
I don't know. It's just a theory. You just have to wonder.
But yeah, I can understand it.
Can you really?
Yeah.
Who's just walked past?
Yeah. That was my wife.
All right. If she walked out because I'm letting out your secrets.
No, she's gone outside for a smoke.
All right. Okay.
She'll be going to bed in a minute. Look, 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. Changing the subject there. Gage says old people are the worst. Old people are the worst for what? I think they're the worst for dying.
Yeah.
I'm actually waiting with bated breath for Tracy's cracker.
Ah!
Oh yes. By the way,
Yes.
I finished my beer in my tanker. That was quite nice.
So we want to hear about Tracy's cracker and not her undercrackers.
About 7 o'clock tonight, when I was sort of getting myself ready for stream, and I was scrolling through Twitter, just passing the time until you called, Steve, and somebody had tweeted this story with links to this lady on TikTok. Basically, it's about a month ago, and I haven't caught up yet to find out. I haven't gone all the way through to find out what's happened, but I don't think it's been resolved yet. But basically, she's an Airbnb host. I think she's an English lady, but she said that she's living in Ireland. And the way that her TikTok actually started was she had a couple of guests come to stay, and she's a disabled lady. This is why, my brain was absolutely horrified at this. She's a disabled lady. She's got Huntington's disease, so it's neurological, and she's got bits and pieces in her place to help her. So she's got things like text to speech to text, talk to text stuff. She's got an accessible doorbell, which basically, when somebody presses it, it gives a sound, but it also flashes just in case her hearing's not good that day. So it's just things like this.
I've got one of those.
Yeah. So she has guests turn up early, and so they refuse to ring this accessible doorbell because she hadn't disclosed on her advert, and nobody had told them that she was disabled, and that there was some disability aids in the place, and she said they were horrible. They were using derogatory language and stuff like this, and they came into her house and everything like this. She tried phoning Airbnb, tried getting customer service or the safety centre. And they said that they'll call her back. And in the meantime, to just not go near these people. And so she locked herself in her kitchen, meaning that they basically had, you know, the rest of her house. She couldn't get to her bed or anything like this. So she locked herself in the kitchen. And she got a call back from Airbnb the next day. I had to write all this down. Basically, these guests have said to her that they hate disabled people. So the next day, Airbnb told her to refund and refund the guests. Now, hold on a minute. Airbnb basically gave her two options. Either remove the doorbell and she...
What?
Yeah, either she needed to remove the doorbell and no longer be disabled. Like, I mean, they didn't say that to her, but basically they're telling her that she needs to either remove the doorbell, you know, or refund in full and the guests get a free stay. And sincere, the words that were used were sincerely apologise to the guests
Now
for
you've got
being
smell.
disabled.
Yep.
What?
You're ruining my story.
I'm sorry, I've got sweaty bollocks.
Well, that's fine. Have sweaty bollocks in peace. Anyway, so to either do that or refund the guests and apologise sincerely to the guests for her being disabled, and basically keep out of sight of the guests. Now, the next day, so like she's doing all these TikTok videos, and I'll give her name on TikTok is This World Can Be Accessible. That's all one word. So the story's still going on. Started about a month ago, and it's still going on. The next day, the guests were going around her house, like literally writing a list of why they didn't want to stay here because of all these terrible disability accessories, which she said were the fire extinguisher, the carbon monoxide detector, the oil tank in the garden for her heating, dressing gown in the wardrobe for guests' use, and IKEA drinking glasses.
A what?
IKEA drinking glasses.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
And also they complained about the bar in the shower, like the grab rail in the shower, which she put it. She as she said, it seems to be sensible to have a grab rail in the shower anyway, disabled or not, because it's a dangerous place in there. But these are all this stuff. She said that they basically called her names and used derogatory language. They didn't want to stay there. But okay, aside from these nasty guests, Airbnb still have done nothing about it. This is what I gather. Like I said, I haven't. And she's thinking about taking it to the press and stuff like this. And she's got a terminal illness. She doesn't want to sue these people, or sue Airbnb rather. She hasn't got time. She hasn't got the time. She doesn't want to spend like part of her last weeks, months, or years or whatever suing Airbnb. But Airbnb have just been like completely stubborn, saying that you have to refund them, otherwise we'll ban you from the site. And she's like, I'm a disabled person, and should I have disclosed it on Airbnb that I'm a disabled person? So anybody who wants to go and see it, see all the videos, like I said, her name on there was This World Can Be Accessible. And if you scroll to the bottom, it's not that many, but if you scroll to the bottom and see it actually happening in real time, where she's saying, I've locked myself in the kitchen and Airbnb aren't getting back to me. She sounds really quite sort of a bit scared and things, and she doesn't know what to do. But Airbnb are just dragging their feet and basically, still, and she wants to go to the press, or people are telling her to go to the press. I was absolutely horrified at this. Absolutely horrified that the guests turned up and were just nasty to a disabled person, and two, Airbnb are basically saying, they are saying, refund the guests and sincerely apologise for being disabled.
Airbnb, obviously.
I'd be ringing the old bill and getting them thrown out.
Yeah.
Airbnb obviously haven't heard of the Equality Act 2010.
No, but I would. I'd be ringing the old bill, getting thrown out.
Yeah.
You can't be abused in your own home, whether you're disabled or not.
Yeah. Right. Meanwhile, we've moved on a bit. Right. That is a very sad story, Tracy. Actually, I'm looking at
It is, yeah.
I'm looking at a TikTok right now. What's up, Grandma says old people are the worst at being young people. Prove me wrong. No, I'm not going to prove you wrong. We
No,
don't want to be young. I don't want to be young. Do you want to be a young person,
I don't want
Mickey?
to be young anymore.
No,
I don't want to be young anymore.
no.
No, no.
Tracy?
It was far better to be young in our day
Yeah,
than it is to be
yeah.
young now. Thank you.
I want to know what's up Grandma thinks that we're doing that seems to be young, because I've been on the internet since 1996. And I've been having a laugh with my friends since I was a kid. And
You have friends?
Yeah, I know, it's amazing, isn't
Yeah.
it? I haven't talked their ear rolls off, but I don't understand what it is that we're doing specifically, unless of course they're talking generally, like old people are the worst at being young people, and we've got to. I'm not here to prove anything. I'm just being me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Mickey?
We don't have to be. We don't have to pretend anything anymore. We've been there. We've done that. We've got the T-shirt.
We do piss ourselves more often than young people.
Well,
Speak for yourself
there
here.
is that. Yeah. We do have leakages
Yeah.
now and again.
I don't.
Uh-huh.
Yet.
Oh, you've been doing the pelvic floor exercise there with Trace.
I haven't got that far yet.
But yeah, we've got nothing to prove. I mean, people take us or leave us. You know, we don't care anymore. We got to the age now that we really don't care anymore. We are what we are.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
I don't even attempt to try and be young. What was the internet like? What was the internet like in the early days of its existence? Oh my God! It was so slow. You've never experienced agony like listening to a 2400 baud modem dial up your internet provider and connect.
Let's get earache off the missus because she wanted to phone her mother and I was on the computer.
Yeah.
The old dial-up days.
And also, web pages weren't full of graphics and things, so you get like a white page with lots of text and maybe a photograph, and you would just like scroll it like it was just one never-ending page of paper. It wasn't interactive like it is now, and the most interaction that you get is that you'd have to go to a message board and put a message on there, and then wait for somebody to see that message. And it
could be days.
Yeah, it could be days. But it was groundbreaking and fun, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean it was fun being able to speak to anybody in the world and that, and I mean I totally enjoyed it. But I do remember the modem, and on a bad day, if somebody phoned you, it would drop your connection. So like your connection would drop, and you'd be like, I think someone tried to phone me. And it would time out as well. You'd only get, with certain providers, you'd only get like 2 hours at a time. So you'd be on there for 2 hours, and then the line would drop, and then you'd have to redial modem, which meant that if you had a particularly big file or picture or something that you were trying to download or receive, it could be 6, 7, 8 hours. And if you didn't have an ISDN line that did it faster, you'd be buggered.
I'm gonna see what Fam has said there. That is your name Welsh, by the way, Fam? Just out of curiosity. But seeing what Fam said there, no, the Wild West of the internet actually started in about 2012. When things like Squarespace, MySpace, and Facebook came along. In 2012, when ASDL, asynchronous dial-up lines, became more popular, that's when the internet became like the Wild West, which was totally and utterly lawless. In the early days of the internet, people did behave themselves, but it was about 2010, 2012, the internet started to become totally lawless. And it is still, to this day, we're living that legacy. However, the legacy of that is that everybody is starting to crack down, like Twitch and YouTube are so hot on copyright theft and things like that. It's unbelievable. The only reason I asked, fam, is my wife is Welsh, so I see a lot of Welsh. Well, she's not my wife; she's my partner, but she's Welsh. So I see a lot of Welsh names, and your name struck me as Welsh. So I think we're actually living right now in the Wild West days of the internet. However, we are at the stage now where the Wild West is coming to an end because we've proved that we cannot be trusted. So government have had to step in and legislate, and they will carry on legislating for the next few years until the internet is a safe space for many people. But it's because we've proved that we cannot be trusted. I don't know what you guys think, Tracy, Vicky.
Yeah, just take all the men off the internet. That would be fine.
I only say you can always go on Mum's net, Tracy.
Oh God, no. No. Jesus, from one extreme to the other. I think I'd rather have a dick pic than Mum's net. God, no. No, I say that tongue in cheek. Only because it's going back to the conversation from earlier that the people that I've mainly had a problem. Well, no, it's not so much of a problem. But I was going to say the people I've mainly have a problem with have been men, but it's not so much of a problem because you know where the block button is and they're generally harmless. I'm not talking about stalkers and trolls. I'm just saying when you get pictures and things, unwanted pictures, you can just delete them and block them and that's it, that's gone. Stalkers and trolls are completely different where you know you'll get targeted and they'll find you and everything like this. So yeah, no, are you saying about the lawlessness and everything of the internet? We were saying earlier that it was supposed to, you know, it should have been a worldwide community, bring us all together. But what's actually happened is that we're more separated than ever because of the internet, because people can be horribly horrible and anonymous, or so they think. So it can bring out the worst in people, and then you go to sites that even Twitter can bring out the worst in the worst people. So yeah, I was yeah.
Twitter is toxic central.
Yeah.
I don't use Twitter very much, to be fair. Not my sort of thing.
I'm sort of keeping myself to myself on Twitter, but at the same time, I want to sort of build a following, and only for for work reasons. So I just I don't do anything. I know there are some controversial people out there who use it. There's a couple of people that I follow. When I say controversial, I mean that they're very much against sort of misogynistic words and stuff. So they're kind of battling the male trolls in the respect, like I was saying. So they come across as controversial, but they're not actually controversial. They're only controversial because the men don't like what they're saying. So I don't mind people like that and that, but I generally try to keep away from, I wouldn't go on there and have a particularly strong opinion about something that is controversial, because I don't want to be sort of known or attached to certain things. Just let me get on this is my little corner of the internet, and let me get on with my stuff. Have a look if you want, but let me get on with it. So let me just read back on that. I can see what you've been doing. And Flam says, and yes, trolls are rather dedicated sometimes. I remember I recently saw this one woman who checked into a hotel and she was found by trolls who sent pizzas to her room. Fucking hell.
That's very kind of them.
She'd have had to pay though, I guess. Like if it's
well, yeah, there is that.
Remember the olden days where you had to pay when they delivered? Yeah. Gay Jock says, exactly, people created communities groups on the internet to further their propaganda. Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
Can I just interrupt for a second? Are either of you two friends with Georgina Davies?
No.
No.
All right, okay, carry on then.
Why?
Never heard of her.
All right, carry on.
She on eBay?
Yeah.
It rings a bell. Why? What's up?
Gigi, well, she lost her cat about 6 weeks ago. and it's just turned up 4 weeks away, starving, hungry, and very purry. So.
Oh, I love news like that.
I think it's a bit strange that a woman can lose a pussy. I always thought it was in the same place. But...
I don't believe you said that, do you, Tracy?
I can actually.
Oh, you can.
I did.
Yeah.
And it did. But saying about cats, Flam says they found her, the woman in the hotel, by cross-referencing bed sheets that photographed with a cat on it with local hotels and found it. I mean, that is just total troll dedication for you. It really is. This is why you got to be just so careful. You know.
Yeah.
It's I would never ever take a photo showing my view out of my window because people can find you. I've got a great view, but people will be able to find me. And I'm not saying that I'm famous and people, but that's my level of security. You can't even see my background, so you can't see what my windows look like or anything like that. You can see my chair if I go to stand up and things, but I give away as little as possible. And like I said, it's not that I don't want to. It is that I don't want to be found, but it's not that I think that I'm so famous that people are going to come and like try knocking on my door for autographs. But it's just, I don't want that happening. I don't want that happening. I'm pointing to Reddit here. I don't want that happening. Gay Jock says, whoever played that song, I love that song.
I was accidentally fiddling about with a browser and I can't really play that song right. That's it. That's whatever song it was. I just opened up a browser window. It was there. I was watching the TikToks from this woman that Tracy mentioned earlier, and it's the background on one of them. So whatever that was, but I've stopped now.
Yeah, there's a few nice ones that are allowed to be used on TikTok, and what happens is that it picks up on it like it would do on YouTube, but then it puts the credit to who did the song automatically in the TikTok thing. So yeah. Oh, why is it so warm tonight? It's really muggy. There we go.
Oh, it was right when I went out. It was raining, but it was the sort of rain we want. It was a very light rain, but it's been constant.
We've still not had any here. Still not had them.
I'm gonna go to I need a piss. So I'll be back in a minute. All right.
All right. Enjoy it. Turn your microphone off.
Yeah, don't turn us off on Reddit though. So Flam says 4chan attacked the first attempt. So in the next attempt, they raised a flag. They found it by tracking planes that appeared on the live stream. See, that is such. That is stalker. That's stalker central. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's exactly reference them to flight patterns. I mean, that's terrible. See, that's what I'm saying. It's just things like that I could just imagine that. Oh Jesus, we've got the sound. Gay Jock says, anyway, I wish you three talk about something more deeper concerning your age and knowledge. We basically bounce off whatever you guys ask us. We do have like some topics that we might have seen like in the day, but there's so much stuff that we could talk about, but what is it that you want us to talk about? Obviously, something more deeper concerning age and knowledge, but we all have different knowledge and lives. So what is it that you'd like us to talk about? We could talk about childbirth. I can talk about it from my point of view, and Mickey and Steve can talk about it from a man's point of view. Or yes, you can. Why not? Well, there you go. That's from your point of view. I don't think Steve's on screen at the moment. So basically, Steve just said that he was drunk, so he can't talk about childbirth.
No, I'm on screen. Look, I can see myself. Look, the twat in the orange shirt.
All I had was Mickey up on screen, so. But yeah, so we have so much knowledge and life experience that we could sit here. Oh, obviously, for Mickey to go through it, 66 years worth, and Steve to go through it, 62 years, and 50 for me. And what do you want to know? What would you like us to chat about?
I'll tell you something about life experience, right? I watched the other day. If one of you's running Bean, I watched an episode of Starsky and Hutch. Do you remember Starsky and Hutch? From the
yes.
From the 70s, right? I watched on one of these old TV channels on satellite, one of these nostalgia channels. I actually watched a complete episode of Starsky and Hutch. Paul Michael Glaser and David Soul, and from the murder being committed to the arrest being made to the court case to the guilty verdict to the guy being put in prison, there wasn't a single cell phone in sight. And when Starsky and Hutch had to call the police station, they had to find a phone box and do it from a phone box. Can you just? That's old people's perspective. How much life has changed.
Yeah. Yeah, and have you noticed that they never?
You remember the old blue police phone boxes, Steve?
Sorry, Mickey?
Hey? I said, do you remember the old blue police phone boxes?
I do, because we still have them in London occasionally. They're kept for nostalgia value. Nostalgia value.
Nostalgia, yeah. Yeah, same with the red phone boxes, yeah.
No, the red phone boxes, they're down in Sussex, where I was yesterday. Quite a lot of the villages have a phone box still in working condition. There was one outside Battle Abbey, which was in working condition. And I made the mistake of opening the door, and it reminded me of how phone boxes were in the 1970s. It stunk of piss and cigarette smoke.
Piss, yeah.
But that's old people's life. I'll give you another view of old people's life. In England, in Britain, the press last week was sending scare stories around that we might have power cuts and blackouts in the winter. Well, back in 1972, I think, we did have blackouts and power cuts. Now, I was a child then. I was only about 12, and Mickey would only be about 16. But they never really bothered me as a child, because all I'd do is I'd read a book by candlelight, because all I'd be doing prior to the power cut was reading a book or listening to some music on the record player.
Well, let's face it, Steve, we were out till it got dark.
We were out till it got dark as well, yeah. So
that's when you knew it was time to come home, when it got dark.
Yeah. Unless you lived in Brixton, then it got dark at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, we've had them. I think if I remember rightly, they were on a rota system, so you always knew when it was going to.
They were advertised in the press in advance.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is, look at today's children. Okay, we cope because it was quite simple, because we didn't have all of the reliance on electric gadgets. Imagine a child today in a power cut. No Xbox, no PlayStation, no cell phone, no iPad, no iPhone, no Wi-Fi. How will they cope?
Telly in the corner.
How will they cope?
3 channels and a black and white telly, wasn't it?
Yeah. So how will they cope in a power cut? You give them a book and they'll say, "What's that?" Or I know, let's play a game of Monopoly. What? How do you play that on the computer? No, it's not on the computer. You actually proper. But today's children will not be able to cope.
Yeah.
What was good about the old days is I could have sex and massive erections. That was good. That was good about that.
You ever having a massive erection, Steve?
Hey?
I said I can't imagine you ever having a massive.
I'm sort of glad, Mickey.
I'm trying not to imagine him having.
I'm glad you can't think about me and erection.
Considering you told us you've got a microphallus.
Yeah.
How can you have?
Well, you can have massive erections when you're a microphallus. They're just not as massive as other people's. But it would be rock hard and it would point skywards. That's what I miss about the old days.
Oh, Gordon Bennett.
You could hang a towel on it, but nowadays, you put a towel on it, it just fall off.
Slide off.
Yeah, straight off. Slide straight off. Yeah. That's what I miss about the old days. You can have a real rock hard throbbing erection.
Oh dear.
You're going to miss being able to speak like this when we're Twitch only.
You can say erection on Twitch,
No,
Tracy.
but rock hard massive erections. I think that we're leading into pornography there.
I'm talking about buildings. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Post Office Tower and the NatWest Tower. What are you talking about? What was my childhood like after school? Most of the time, trying to get laid during the power cuts.
I mean, after school, I had a paper round after school actually, but only on a Friday when the local rag came out. So, but I mean, you'd go. I mean, we'd go home. We'd have to get changed out of our school clothes into what they called our play clothes, and then you'd be out. You'd have your tea, and then you'd be out till it got dark. Once it was dark, in you come.
I didn't have any of that. My parents were slightly strange, but I loved my primary school, but my secondary school I absolutely hated. And the best thing about secondary school, high school, was break time, lunchtime, and going home time. I hated school, and when I went home from school, we had to do. They said that school said it was supposed to be 20 minutes per subject of homework for each subject, and we'd have no more than 3 subjects to do. Always used to take me 3 or 4 hours to do. It wasn't because I was thick, it's just because I reckon, I said before, I reckon that I've always had ADD or ADHD. I just couldn't concentrate. There was much more interesting things to be doing than sitting.
I never, ever, ever did any homework. None.
Yeah.
I was always in trouble for it, but never. And my philosophy was, I come to school for you to teach me. When I go home, that's my time.
Yeah. Oh, I got to the point where
that's from as far back as I can remember. As little, I think 11 when I started secondary school. They give us this homework. No, I never ever did it. I got caned by the headmaster. I got suspended from school. I got this and the other. But I never did a stitch. Why should I? Then I am there at that school for them to teach me. Not on my own time, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, I got to the point where I just wasn't doing homework, and then I got to the point where I wasn't going to school at all. I bunked pretty much my entire last year because there was much more interesting things to be doing. I couldn't wait till, I mean, I don't know why, but I couldn't wait till I was old enough to get a job. But I mean, I did enjoy, the thing about the job was being able to earn money and have independence. My parents never gave any of us pocket money or an allowance or anything, so it was just so nice to be able to earn my money and spend it on what I wanted. You know, I could. It was the freedom. I just hated secondary school, and so Flam says, "Was there anything you wouldn't miss?" Yeah, secondary school.
Unlucky Saw said, "Was life better in the old days?"
No.
Music was.
In some respects, it was.
Music
in
was.
that we didn't have all the stresses that are put on people these days. But these days, you've got a lot more things to help you, i.e., computers. I mean, I was at school. We didn't even have a calculator. There was no such thing as calculators at school. It weren't till I was in about the 4th year. That calculators were a thing, and you weren't allowed to use them in school.
Weren't allowed to use them. You can use calculators in exams now.
So things are easier now, in some respects, but I think I miss the innocence of my youth, where you would just go out and do what you want, and you didn't have all this pressure of internet and 99 million and mobile phones when people could get hold of you at any time. Once we went out, we were out, and that was it. You know what time to be home, and God help you if it was late.
Yeah.
If you give any lip to anybody, they give you a smack round the lug, and when you got home, you got another one because everybody knew everybody else. Now, I mean, I know my 2 immediate neighbours, but people from sort of 6, 7, 8 houses down, I don't know them. You could leave your doors open and without any. I'm sounding like a old twat now, but you leave your doors open, nobody would come in, or if they did, it would be to leave you something rather than take something. I mean, obviously you lot in London might be a bit different, but yeah. So yeah, life was easier then than it is now. I think.
Diabolical.
There's so much pressure on people now.
Diabolical.
Sorry, what?
It's gone. Diabolical.
Mm.
It's absolutely diabolical these days.
Flam says, I do remember my father telling me about how he was cane and such when he was in school. They had this one teacher who had no arms, and so whenever he was angry, he would use his feet to throw the blackboard eraser at the heads of the kids, which of course was a block of wood. Now, when I started...
I've got a scar on my head from a blackboard rubber.
When I started secondary school, even when I started primary school, corporal punishment wasn't allowed anymore. When I started my secondary school, there were still some old school teachers there, and one of them was I think he was a geography teacher, and he was just like that. He would throw the blackboard rubber. He'd get in terrible trouble now doing it, but he would. And do you remember, like, they would be doing that, cleaning the blackboard, and then they would turn and throw it like in one movement. Yeah. And he used to do that, and we got our own back on him by putting super glue on his chair, and also we used to glue things to the underside of his desk. So he'd like find his pens and books and things stuck to the underside of his desk.
Can I just remember what I said about Reddit airtime? You only get 3 hours on Reddit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've got 22 minutes left. What I'm going to do is I'm getting very tired here. That's a symptom of my disease. We've already spoken about that. I'm getting very tired here. And when Reddit times out, I'm going to end the stream. If that's okay with you.
That's cool. Seriously, you need to be saving your energy, and we need to be putting our energy into Twitch.
That's coming.
I enjoy doing all this, and hopefully these guys will come over to Twitch to be able to see loads more of it. So
I'm just going for a pee.
Baby.
Okay. I like the way he leant over you and said that, Tracy.
There we go.
If you were to raise the child in social media age, what precautions would you take? I'd wear a condom.
So that you didn't have the child in the first place.
I've got 4 children and I've got 11 grandchildren. And if my oldest grandson, who's just coming up for 18, I think he's 18 at the end of this month, if he's like, I could end up being a great granddad before too long. So yeah, it's a bit difficult because I would certainly, if I was to raise a child nowadays, I think I'd still raise them the way that I raised my kids. I raised my kids with a very simple thing. If I have to say something 3 times, on the 4th time you're in trouble, and that was it. So my kids learned that if I said something 3 times, the 4th time they were in trouble, and it would normally involve a slipper. Because I did believe in. I know you can't do it nowadays, but there's the old thing is spare the rod and spoil the child. But then saying that, none of my kids have grown up to be career criminals or things like that. They've actually grown up.
Good night, Flam. Thank you for dropping in. Come see us on Twitch. Come over to Twitch. We'll be on Twitch on Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday this week. Come and find us there. Thank you, Flam.
Flam, Nostar. There you go, Nostar. Sorry, Tracy.
No, you were talking. I just spotted Flam saying good night, and I just wanted to acknowledge and say, come and see us on Twitch.
Yeah. Nostar, Flam. And Diolkenvauer for being here for the evening. The advantages of being with a Welsh woman, Tracy.
Yeah.
I get to pick up bits of Welsh.
So you were saying about raising your child in the internet and social media age.
I would like to think that I would raise a child the same way that I raised my old children, to be respectful of their elders, to be good, law-abiding citizens. And I was never abusive with my children, because they very soon learnt that the 3 times rule, and they'd never push it to the 4th. So that was quite good.
I it was a 3-time thing. It was ask, tell again. But if you got to the 4th, that's when you get your punishment or whatever it was that something would be taken away or whatever, early bedtime or something like that. So that's what it was: ask, tell again, and then do whatever it is that you say. Also the internet and social media age. I've got grandchildren who are being raised in the internet and social media age. So the precautions really are: you've got to make sure that you've got whatever program on your computer or their computer or every computer that they can't get through to the social media, for a start, because social media can be really, really tough on children. And when I say children, I'm talking about, minors, under 16s and what have you. Although it can be tough at any age, but children just, it's different. And also, don't give them a mobile phone too bloody early. Parents go, oh, but my 6-year-old, or not 6-year-old, that's a bit young, but my 10-year-old needs one because they come back with their brother after school and stuff. No, they don't need one. We didn't have one. They don't need one. There really isn't predators on every street corner or paedophiles on every street corner. There's no more than there used to be. It's just we hear about them more because of the media. So although that is a worry, and I know it's a worry, and it is nice to be able to contact your child, don't give them a phone too early. And when you do give them a phone, make sure it is completely restricted so that they can't access something. My grandson accidentally, on purpose, downloaded the Reddit app, funnily enough, onto his phone because he wanted to do something about it was Fortnite, I think, the game. And the first thing he found was a woman pleasuring herself, and he was traumatized. I'm telling you, he was traumatized. He's still traumatized because he's 13, but he's a young 13. And my daughter was like, well, you shouldn't have been downloading Reddit. Why were you downloading Reddit? You did specifically the thing that I said not to. You'd managed to get around the parental lock or something on it. And he's like, oh, no, I'm not ever going to do it again. It's just like, he was just so, oh my God. He must have had nightmares that night. So
I've got to admit, I don't like the way that my youngest daughter brings her children up.
Yeah.
But they are her children, so I can't interfere. She does. They've all got mobile phones. They've all got tablets. If they haven't got a mobile phone, they've got a tablet, and they're always in a connected world. In fact, whenever they come round here, the first thing she says is, "Granddad, or Dad?" She says, "Dad, what's the Wi-Fi password, please?" Yeah, seriously, and she gives it straight to her children. So I tell her the Wi-Fi password now is broken, and she said, "No, it's not. No, it's not." I said, "Yeah, it's broken." "No, it's not, because you're still on the internet." I said, "Look, it's broken, all right?" And she doesn't say anything else. And then the other day she said to me, "Dad, why don't you change the password?" And I said, "Why?" She said, "Well, what is the password?" And I said, "It's broken." She said, "If you keep telling me it's broken, I want to know what the password is." And I said, "No, that is the password, broken." And then the penny dropped that she'd actually not had the internet every time she'd come round here because she hadn't listened to what I'd said when the password was broken. So, but no, I don't. I don't. If I had children now, they would not have a mobile phone or a tablet, or if they had a tablet, one that couldn't connect to the internet until they were of age. And I'm talking about 16, 17, when they were their own age and when they could afford their own and pay for their own internet, then they would have one. But otherwise, no. And I don't like the way that kids have got to have these latest designer trainers or designer clothing. And also I don't like the way that kids get hundreds of pounds spent on them for Christmas. When they get about 20 or 30 presents. I never had any of that, but like I say, they're not my children, and I'm not bringing them up, so I can't interfere. So I just have to sit back and just have to accept that this is the modern world. That her children have got to have the latest designer stuff, or their life is over.
I don't agree with that. all what I would say is that it is a very fine balance between allowing your children to have certain gadgets and technology, but also at the same time not giving them complete free rein, because if you deny them what their friends, if you deny them everything that their friends have, then they're going to feel they're just not going to be wise when they use it in the future. They're not going to be sort of smart on them, and also they're going to look back and feel like they didn't. I had a similar type of thing, I didn't have the latest fashions, and I mean, seriously, when I say latest fashions, I did. My mum was giving me like a fiver to buy like a t-shirt and a skirt from like the granny place. I wanted a pair of like funky jeans that my friends would wear. Or back then, what you'd do is you'd buy a pair of jeans and then you would like paint all over them yourself to, that was the fashion. But there's a fine line between not giving them everything and not giving them anything at all, if you see what I mean. So I agree with you in some ways, Steve, but also I think 16 is probably too old, and Gay Jock says prohibition doesn't work. Kids are very smart in terms of tech. They might be dumb in humanly and worldly affairs, and that's what I mean. They need to learn how to use it, but they also need to learn how to be responsible with it. And it's up to the parents to limit screen time and tech time, because there are other things out there apart from technology. So, Mickey.
Well, I've got an 8-year-old granddaughter. She does have a tablet. She doesn't have a phone. She's not allowed one. She has a tablet. Well, she has a Kindle, Amazon Kindle thing, but it's got parental locks on. She doesn't have a password to buy any apps. She has to go through her parents to buy them. But she's only interested in playing her little games on it anyway. I mean, she's 8 at the end of the day. But I do think it helps them to learn about technology by allowing them to use it at that age.
As long as you're not using it as a babysitter, because a lot of people do that.
It's not that, no. I mean, I have her every Friday. She comes to me every Friday, and she'll bring her tablet, and she'll sit there and play her games. But she's not forced to sit there and play games. She sits there because she plays a lot of learning games, and she'll come to me and ask me how to do so. And we'll sit there together.
Oh yeah.
And I'll go through it, show her how to do it or what have you. And that's helping them to learn. If they don't, I think if they don't learn at an early age to use, well, I mean, a tablet's basically a computer, isn't it? If they don't learn, they're going to be left behind as they get older.
That's what I mean, yeah.
But she won't have a phone until she's at least 12, 13.
Yeah. Then
again, that will be parental restricted. My daughter is quite turned on about. I mean, I've got my grandson who's 17. His phone is now unrestricted, but he's 17 now. So he can do what he likes with it. But yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all I got to say on it, really. Yeah, I think they need a bit of airtime to learn skills for the future.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I said, cause, when I was at secondary school and we were choosing our GCSEs, we were the first year of GCSEs when O levels were stopped. But when we were choosing what exams we were going to do, and I wanted to do computing and typewriting, like secretarial skills, and I couldn't get secretarial skills. I can't remember why, but computing I got turned down for because there was literally there was one class that could do it, and we only had 5 computers. And my brother, we had a computer at home, and it was BBC B.
Steve's playing again.
Huh?
Steve was playing again.
Oh, I've got the. I see. Read it. So my brother was learning all this stuff from So what would I have been? About 14. So he would have been. He would have been about 3. But he literally he was wiring things up and doing his own little basic programs and stuff. He knew his stuff, and he could do all the computing and IT and things like that. And when I left school, after I had the kids, I then had to put myself through a computer course to learn how to turn the computer on, open and close programs and documents and stuff. I had to put myself through a course. I had to pay for that to learn it. I'm glad I did, because I loved it. But it was just so it's the same thing. Otherwise they're just going to miss out, and they'll be left behind in knowing, because everything's going to become more and more and more technology, more and more techie. And so just you need to know the basics and around the computers and technology. Is Steve still messing about?
No. I just give a warning. We've got 7 minutes left.
That's all right. I just looked on Reddit, and because we're behind, I can see you've put aliens up and UFOs.
And a skeleton flying about.
The skeleton, yeah.
Yeah.
Skeleton. Did you not see the dancing skeleton?
Yeah.
No, I've got. See, the thing is, I've got.
Hang on. Dancing skeleton. There you go.
I have to wait for that to come up, because I've got Reddit open in another browser, and I've got it shoved so far to the left so that all I can do is see the text, see the writing. We have 20 watchers on Reddit. Come and say hello before we finish. We've got 10 minutes left, and then Wednesday it will be
6 minutes.
6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a delay, don't forget to.
No, I was looking at my computer. Did you start Reddit? Oh, you started Reddit early, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. And I see Tyson popped in on YouTube.
Yes, I missed him because YouTube blanked out his message, and it wasn't.
I see why.
So he didn't. So obviously, because I didn't reply to him, he thought I was ignoring him, and he cleared off. So unfortunately.
It was 2 words in there, 2 words that would have caught it.
Yeah, although that's not how you spell masturbating.
Oh, 1 word then.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah. I wondered where that had come from.
Yeah, it was me. I authorised it, but it was too late. Tyson had disappeared again. It's a shame, because I quite like Tyson. He's up there from Lincolnshire. I quite like Tyson, but just let you know now we're down to 5 minutes left. So I'm actually going to say my goodbyes, because I'm really, really fucking shattered. So Reddit.
Let's do this.
Goodbye from me. I'll let the other 2 carry on, and I'll just give a countdown as we're running out of time.
You might as well. We'll say our goodbyes.
We'll say our goodbyes.
Yeah. Go on, Nikki.
Oh. Bye, guys. See you next time. Stay safe.
Friday next time, Reddit.
Safe.
And I'll see you. I'll be on Twitch on Wednesday, and I'll be back here on Reddit next Monday for our last one.
We do stream on Twitch, Gajock, so we spent the whole evening telling you that we are going over to Twitch full time from the 1st of September. Have you not been listening? Do you not see the Twitch URL up there?
And I literally just said I'll see you on Twitch on Wednesday.
Yes, because we'll be on Twitch on Wednesday night. I will type the Twitch URL into the chat here as well, in case you want it.
Bookmark it, follow us, subscribe to us, whatever, just so that you can find us again. The schedule is on the link that Steve is just about to put. We, depending on what reception we get on different nights, we might mix it up a bit. But at the moment, this week is Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. And next week will be very exciting, because we're not doing Reddit from Monday. Monday's the last one on Reddit, and then it's all Twitch all the way.
Yep, I know YouTube. We're dropping YouTube as well.
Yeah, but no one's on YouTube because no one cares.
No, I'm just looking at YouTube now. How many viewers we've got on YouTube? Hang on. We've got a stunning 4 viewers.
That's
Three of them are
Yeah,
us.
3 of them are us. Yeah,
and one's Andrew.
yeah. So we know all 4 viewers. So yeah, so that's it. So
Gay Jocks for being here.
3 minutes and 30 seconds. Don't forget they can extend it on Reddit, and they might, but it all depends. But 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah. Should we
Yeah,
just?
but you're knackered.
Hmm?
So you're knackered.
It's my illness. It's
Fine.
my illness, Nikki. I get like
We
that.
understand that. We understand that. So
Yeah. And I've been knackered all day with my headache, and I've got my sister all day tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to getting a relatively early night.
Well, I've got my dinner to eat. I've got a nice curry. My partner did a beef curry earlier today, so I'll be eating my beef curry when this is finished.
Right. Well, I'll be round in about half an hour for some curry.
It's only enough for me. Sorry.
I'll eat that. That's fine. You can have the rice.
Okay. No, I'm just having the curry, not the rice. Reheated microwave rice doesn't work. I'm just having the curry.
Yeah.
Right.
Go on, Mickey. Carry on.
With that,
Carry on. You've got 2 minutes.
No. We just said our goodbyes. We're just waiting for you to say your goodbyes.
I did 5 minutes ago.
Right. Switch us off.
All right. Okay. In that case, so I'll run my goodbye. I'll run my goodbye graphic, which I will amend next week with the times. So where are we? There we are. That's not it, right? Is that on new goodbye graphic? We'll soon find out. Yes, it is. Right. Goodbye.